SoundCloud music.
Welcome back to the place where nothing is safe. This is episode 128. 128 episodes. God damn. Well, anyway, you know me. I'm your host, yours Marco, and I'm with.
It's your guy, M Easy.
And then we have a special guest in the building. I would like to bid you guys an introduction of an educator, a screenwriter, a poet, and now a self-published author. Give it up to Ronald Clark.
What up, y'all? What up? I'm really looking forward to this. This has been something on my list of things to do over the last few months, so I'm excited.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I had you on the list a while back when I first had a podcast. Like, I'm looking at all the dope people in San Diego that I want to talk to and, share the world, like what we do out here, because sometimes we get overlooked by Los Angeles and San Francisco and other things. But we do dope shit out here in San Diego, too. Much love to the Bay. I know I get more listenership out there. For a minute, I did get a lot more listenership in San Diego, but that fade away in the Bay still held me down. LA's still there, too. LA still shows love. Chicago, surprisingly, is coming up.
Yeah.
I see you, Chi-Town, tuning in. But yeah, just to let you guys know, Kmart's at work. He can't make it today. And Miss Nessa is on tour. She's in Mazatlan right now with her friends, so she's out there getting tan and shit, eating a whole bunch of tacos. But anyway, man, how's everyone doing?
I'm good, man.
You good?
I'm good. I'm living a life right now. It's a beautiful time to be me, so I'm excited about it.
So it's surreal. So for me, I know who you are from social media back at Morris High School. But for those who don't know, who is Ronald Preston Clark?
Well, Ronald Preston Clark is someone who likes to express himself in the healthiest ways possible, and the best way for me to do so is usually through writing and usually through speaking. Having grown up in Southeast San Diego, attended Fulton, Keeler, and Morris High School, then left to go to Hampton University for 4 years, class of 2008, Onyx 7. I'm actually headed out there for my 10-year reunion homecoming in 2 weeks. So that's going to be fun. I haven't been back since 2009. So it's going to be really interesting being around all my college friends, and all of them is married, got families and kids and stuff. Right. And I'm going to still be single and slosh. So it's going to be fun. Looking forward to those shenanigans. After I left Hampton, I became a high school sports reporter for the second biggest newspaper in New Jersey. Stayed there for about 3 years. Fell out of love with the game of journalism. Otherwise, I'd be at Undefeated or ESPN right now. But I fell out of love with the game and fell in love with screenwriting. Wrote about 6 or 7 different scripts while I was in New Jersey, and ended up moving back to California in 2011 to attend the professional program in screenwriting at UCLA. When I got home, I realized my journalism degree, if I didn't want to actually do journalism, pretty much didn't do too much else. So I ended up falling in love with education. I realized that was a place I could go. I had always planned on being like a teacher, like at 50, 55, after having this long career, and like this is my way of giving back. But it turned out that, education found me much earlier than I expected. And so was a classroom assistant with the Charter School of San Diego, led me to Mount Airy Christian Academy as a jack of all trades. Left there to go to Gompers Prep, started as a campus supervisor, ended up being a long-term substitute, stayed there for 3.5 years, and now I'm where I'm at now as a student teacher at Morris High School, as well as a master's student at the University of San Diego. So it's been a long journey, but all that time and all that effort and all my experiences, both good and bad, led to the product I have right now with the book. So it's been a journey, but I'm excited.
Okay, so with all that being said, when was that very moment that you recall that your passion for literary arts began?
Well, I've always been a big reader. Always been a big reader. I read Goosebumps. I read Fear Street novels. My first Stephen King book was Cujo, and I hate dogs. So like for me to read for me to read that first was kind of crazy. So I've always Walter Dean Myers, James Baldwin. Like I just always been a really big reader. But the moment when my creative writing, like I wrote a little bit when I was a kid, like little short stories and little fun stuff. But I still tell people that the moment I truly felt like, oh snap, I'm about to be a creative writer in some way, shape, or form, was actually at Morris. At Morris.
Wow.
I was in Miss Kendra Madden's class. It was my 12th grade English class. And I tell this story all the time. I actually told my kids at Morris this story recently. And I was in class, and she gave us an assignment. And usually with novels, it takes a while before the book really gets popping off and started. She told us, dive right into it, like dive right into the story. So I wrote mine, and we only had to write 3 or 4 sentences. We didn't have to write nothing long. She just wanted to see how we would start the story. So I wrote 3 or 4 sentences on a girl losing her virginity. And the funny part is that I wrote it in church, which was hella inappropriate. And so I still remember I'm in the balcony at Mount Airy Baptist Church writing about a girl losing virginity.
Shout outs to writing smut in church.
So it was bad. So I bring it to class the next day, and she let people, some people read them out loud. So I read mine, and like my head is down while I'm reading, and I look up after I'm done, and everybody's jaw is just on the floor. Like, and I'm like, yo, was that good? Like, I didn't realize what was happening. And she was like, okay, that was really good. She was like, can you make that longer? So I ended up writing this like little 1-page single-space short story called Our Eyes Met. And it basically was just the day leading up to the activity, not the activity itself, because, I was still in high school. So I couldn't start writing Eric Jerome Dickey stuff until, a little later. But anyway, so I do that. She's like, oh my gosh, that was great. She's like, if you do any other stories like that, I'll give you more extra credit. I said, you ain't said nothing but a word. So I ended up writing about 4 or 5 of those little 1-page stories. I get to college, and I run into this group called Spark One. And it was a group of poets. And I became kind of like the curveball of the group because I wrote short stories and they wrote poetry. But that group of people said, yo, Ronald, your short stories are poems if you strip the language. Like if you say what you're saying in less words. So I just started working at the craft to try to be better at being a poet. And I turned into a narrative poet. I still told stories, but now I told them poetically. And my junior year, I memorized my first poem. It was my first poem. It was for an AIDS event. And my best poetry line I've ever written, or not my best, my favorite poetry line I've ever written is still from that poem. As our words intertwine and our hearts crisscross, Christ christened our combination, the second coming of Adam and Eve. Like, and I'm really big on alliteration, and there was so much consonance in that piece, and like that personified me as a poet. And so my junior year, I really started doing the poetry thing, and then joined another poetry collective called the Left Side Poets. We put out a book in 2011 called The Left Side Poets Present Strange Fruit that won a NUSPA award, which is a National Underground Spoken Word Poetry Awards. It was basically like, it's defunct now, but it was like the Grammys of poetry. Okay. Like it was like this big event they had in D.C. And so we won that year. And so I was still on the poetry tip, came out with an EP. Like I was doing all the poetry stuff. And then I started hosting Lyrical Exchange for 4 years. And so, which is an open mic here in San Diego that's still going strong. And somebody who I went to college with, who's a friend of mine, Amin Ra, now hosts that. And so in January, Lyrical Exchange will be celebrating 6 years. And so, which is crazy for an open mic. Open mics die all the time. And so for us to be still going after 6 years is a powerful thing. So
what made you think that kept that longevity going?
We were built on community. We were built on our theme was love, live, laugh, but we never said it. Like we never told people, hey, when you come here, you gotta love, you gotta live, you gotta laugh. We didn't say that. It was organic. Like, and we one of my favorite things to do was to ask the crowd, what's your high school graduation year? And everybody would just yell out their years. And one night we had class of 2018 with somebody from class of like 1968.
Wow.
And I was like,
damn.
For us to have a room where people from that different of generations could enjoy the same art, enjoy the same music. And it was funny because I'm a 5'6", $137 black dude. My DJ is like a 6'2", skinny, like maybe a $165, two skinny black dudes, and white folks loved us. It was the funniest thing. We were like, we was full on black on that stage. Like, it wasn't like we was holding back or anything like that. But like, it was so beautiful because we had every creed, color. The LGBTQ community really loved us. High school students loved us. We had old white folks. We had young Mexicans. We had the whole nine, and it was beautiful. In one space, all these people could enjoy each other's energy, enjoy each other's talent, enjoy each other's laughter, and it was for the best. I grew up so much during that time because it really opened my eyes to community. It really opened my eyes to the diversity of San Diego, and we would have nights where like the open mic list wasn't all that talented every night, and then people would come up to me afterwards like, "Oh my gosh, I really love it here," because it was us. Like it was. You got lyrical exchange no matter what the list was and no matter what the crowd was. You were gonna get our show. And Ross keeping it moving right now, and I drop by every once in a while, just to try to show my face or whatever. But I had to move on to focus on teaching. But man, that was a whirlwind of 4 years, bro. Like, it was crazy. But it's just another step in the journey. It was just another step in the journey.
So nobody ever tried to pull you to the side like, hey man, you need to spit some bars. You need to like start a rap career, get it going on.
You wanna know what's funny is that like I'm a free verse poet, so I rarely rhyme. Soon as I start rhyming, I start sounding hella elementary. Like the force of needing to have to rhyme at the end of a sentence completely takes away all my creativity. Like, it completely takes away all my style. Like, I turn into Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse right after the clock. This is some bullshit. Like that's literally.
You didn't want to hit him with the sugar free,
yo. Maybe why you bullshit? Like, they ain't ready for that. But because point blank, bitch. Anyway, so let's not get into that hood of a California. But that dude there, he's like 50 years old, still talking about pimping and hoes. But anyways,
don't make me break a fingernail.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. That dude's a 27 year in the game pretty boy. That's hilarious to me. But but yeah, man, it's when people like, especially because I spit my poetry naturally fast, and so like my students have always been like, oh, that's the teacher that raps. And I'm like, I don't rap, dude. I do spoken word. I just do it. I do it extra fast. And they're like, no, you rap. I'm like, no, I don't, dude. Like, sit your third grade self down. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it's a beautiful thing though.
All right. So I mean, leading up to the writing process, the whole journey of creating and writing your book, having it published and everything. So give us a journey of how the whole process went. Man, we got time today.
Shoot, you sure? Because this is a hell of a story. So it was about a 2.5 year process. And how it started is kind of crazy. What a lot of people don't know, unless you know me personally, Vinnie was actually a character in a screenplay I had already written. And I did the whole Shonda Rhimes move of, in that screenplay, the lead characters were white, but my favorite and best characters weren't. And so Vinnie was my favorite character in that screenplay, but he was a secondary character. So I wanted to do something with him on a grander scale later on, because I just fell in love with his character. And so I expected to eventually write a screenplay on him and his family down the road. What ended up happening was a friend of mine, Erica Buddington, who's she basically does everything I do, just better. Like, that's what I always tell her. I'm like, she was at 18 years old, was the top spoken word poet in the country in her age group. She's an MC, she's a poet, she's a fiction writer, she's also an educator. I don't know if y'all saw the clip of the woman who changed Bodak Yellow into a geography song.
No,
I think I've seen that.
So it went viral. That's her. Right, so yeah, we went to college together. She's an amazing person. I actually talked to her the other day. But she had a website and she was looking for guest fiction writers. And I was like, yo, that'd be kind of dope. And the deal was that you wrote for her website, and eventually your story would be turned into a novella. Like, she would print it for you. And I was like, okay. I was like, I want to do that. And so I shot her actually a different story. I shot her this other the beginning of another novel that I was planning on trying to write, but it was too adult. Because she's an educator, she liked to keep her page PG-13 because she might have kids coming on there, and so that story like was gangster from like Jump Street. Like, I only gave her 3 pages, and the 3 pages already had a sex scene in it. So so she was like, I want to use you, but do you have something else? And at the time, I had nothing laid out at the level you would need for a full-length novel. And I'm like, dang, do I really want to write for this website? I really want to be on her site. And I was like, what am I going to do? So I started kind of going through my catalog of like different stories and stuff. And I still don't know why. I still don't remember when or how I landed on let me take Vinnie out of the screenplay and turn it into something else. But that's what happened. And so I wrote the first chapter, shot it to her, and she was like, yes, let's do this. And I was like, bet. So I ended up going from sending her that, laid out the rest, and I was basically posting on her site once a week, each part. And she's the one that got me to, she said, yo, if you want people to keep coming back to the site to read your story, it needs to end on a cliffhanger, which is why a lot of my chapters almost feel like in the book itself, each chapter almost feels like its own entity because she had me making sure that each one ended to make people come the next week. It's just now with the book, you can just go to the next page.
So you kind of like began with the ending in mind.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of times. And so
Stephen Covey.
And so so I was doing that for a while on her site. Riv is extra busy, and she had some different things going on, so she wasn't posting that much. And so eventually she ended up changing up her website. She ended up creating a new one. And I was like, hey, I still want to, keep going with Vinnie. Do you mind if I take it and put it on my own website? And she was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. And so I ended up starting another website called Vinnie by R. Preston Clark, .squarespace.com. So I started posting on there, and I posted the first 16 chapters of Vinnie ended up being posted on the website. So I slowly started getting just a minor amount of people who were starting to read it on a regular basis. I just wasn't posting consistently. Like I'd post like 2 or 3, and then I'd be gone for like some months because I was writing really inconsistently. And so after that after I did that, I was like, all right, I don't want to post the whole book online. Like I want to eventually finish it. And so some time had passed. I ended up writing 28,000 words from December 2015 to March 22nd of this year, which it actually isn't a lot. So I get to March. I had 2 very emotional events happen in my life in the February-March range. And me being the writer that I am, I needed somewhere to put the pain. I needed somewhere to put the emotion. I needed somewhere to go with this energy because otherwise it was going to eat me alive. And being the artist that I am and being the writer that I am, I was like, I need to finish this book. I kept telling people, oh, yeah, I'm working on a novel. Was I really working on a novel? No, because working on a novel is writing every day. Right? Yeah. Working on a novel is being engrossed in the story every day, not picking it up every once in a while. So when that hit, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just dive into this because it was the easiest way for me to detach from everything else that was around me because I'm what I like to call method writer. You know how they call method actors?
Yeah.
Like Daniel Day-Lewis. He only does a movie every time Usher comes out with an album, which is like every 4 years. And so, because Usher literally came out with an album in 96, 2000, and 2004. Like he was the Olympics of R&B.
Let's not mention that Zaytoven joint.
Yeah, no, that doesn't count. His last album was Confessions. I don't care what anybody says. But so I'm a method writer, and so I channel this kid when I write, and that used to be my excuse to not write. Was that I needed the perfect setting. I needed to be in the perfect place, and everything had to be right for me to write. But because of the 2 things that happened to me, I was in that mood all the time now. Like, I didn't have to go to this dark place because I was already in that dark place. I just needed to channel this kid. And so when I would write, I could tell when I was writing as myself or when I was writing as him. And it was such a powerful, cathartic, just therapeutic just process because without him with me, I was a shamble of myself. I wasn't me. And I got to a point where I was Vinnie all the time. Like I literally could be like, I got 5 minutes to spare. I can literally write as him right now. And so over that 2-month span, I just kept writing and writing. And then my best friend, who both of y'all know, Michael Kenwood.
Shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike. My best friend lives in Arizona. And so I was on spring break. And I called him and was like, yo, I've been researching writers' retreats and stuff, and I really want to go on one. But you know how we do. We do everything gangster and gutter. I said, so let's do a bootleg version of a writer's retreat. I'm going to just come to your house in Arizona. I got my own room there anyway. I was like, I'm going to come to your house in Arizona. You take my phone away during the day from 9 to 5. Take my phone, and I'm going to be in this room, and I'm going to go at it. At night, we'll smoke and drink, and then the next morning, I'm going to do the same thing. So
That would sounds pretty interesting.
so I wrote 9,400 words in 4 days, and that was the longest stretch of continuous writing I had ever done on this story. And that was the impetus for me to start writing every day after that. So I ended up writing 1,000 to 3,000 words a day all the way until I finished. So I go to his place, I come back home, I'm writing every day now.
Yeah.
And now that's when you guys start seeing me post more about what word count I'm on and where I'm headed and stuff. I ended up having a slap bet with 3 of my friends who all scare me. And I purposely picked them. And so my slap bet was if I don't hit 50,000 words by, I think it was May 1st, y'all can slap me 3 times at any point throughout the year without me knowing. Now,
I like that.
Yeah, so
keep them accountable.
Yo, and I stole that from How I Met Your Mother, because I used to always do slap bets on there. And so I got 2 of my friends, and actually Kmart knows, Joe Mack was one of them.
SoundCloud?
Yeah, my boy Jay Scott, and then one of my colleagues, Cheryl Carr, and she was hitting me up like, I will slap you at work. And so so I ended up meeting that goal, and it was just little fun stuff like that all throughout the process. And so I ended up finishing it on May 26th. And the funny thing is that Vinnie changed my ending. The ending that it is right now was not the ending I was writing to. I always pick the first word, the first sentence of a piece, and the last sentence of a piece, and you start it, and then you write to that last sentence. So I had my last sentence in mind the whole time. So the ending of the movie, like the scenes that are the ending of Vinnie's storyline in the screenplay, is pretty much the ending of the book in a way. So I pull out this old screenplay. Now, by the way, I'm looking at the screenplay going, I'm a much better writer now because, goddamn, this is not good. And so I'm looking at it, but I go and I basically take it from the screenplay version and start writing it in prose. I start writing it in novel form. And it's disgusting. I'm like, this is terrible. So I literally sit at my computer. I close my eyes. I put my hands on the keyboard. And I said, Vinnie, edit this. I need you to write this right now. And I freaking spaz. The last chapter of this book is some of the best writing I've ever done in my entire life. And I'm talking about it was just an out-of-body experience. And we get to the last few...
Covering every question,
dude,
pretty much.
We get to the last few paragraphs, bruh. And he goes, we're stopping here. I said, what? He's like, no, we're stopping right here. And I was like, word? And I read the ending, and I'm like, oh, snap. People are going to be mad. If people don't throw the book at the wall when they're done, like, dead ass. I'm like, dude.
That's what you want?
Yo, I want you...
More is less? Less is more.
It's so funny, dude. Like, there's so many emotional reactions you're going to have reading this book.
Okay.
You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. Like, I haven't met anybody who hasn't cried reading it. Like, it hits so much subject matter that I want you to go on an emotional journey, and then I want you to question the very emotions that you're dealing with.
Well, before I say that, the way my toxic masculinity is set up, I don't know if I'm going to try to allow myself to cry. That's literally the point of the book. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, baby. That's what
I might
it's
shed
all
a thug
about.
tear or two.
Hey,
who knows?
Man, thug tears is what it's all about. But yeah, man, on May 26th, I finished it. I went to this Office Depot or Staples, one of them two, and went with my cousin Ian. Went with my boy Amin Ra, and we printed it out for the first time in a spiral, and I had it in my hands. And it wasn't done yet. It was still the first draft. I still had some editing to do, but it was the first time I had the whole, like, all the pages just in my hand at once. And we put it on Facebook Live. It got like 7,000 hits, and after that, it was just the process to getting it published, man.
Getting it published. Okay, so like you said, you had your out-of-body experience. You've been through your highs, your lows. I've heard unfortunate passing of your cousin. Yeah. I'm not going to speak on that, but unfortunate.
Yeah.
With all this emotional roller coaster, and once you get to that light at the end of the tunnel, that must have been one of the most gratifying feelings in the world.
Boo-hooing, bruh. Like, when I say tears, I don't know if y'all saw the clip of me got Facebook Live when my proof copy came, and the proof copy is that first copy you get to read through, check through, make sure it's okay before you tell them that the final copy is ready. And I get it sent to my house, man. And the first time I have the actual book version in my hand, knowing how much blood, sweat, tears, time, emotional energy, loss, everything that went into those pages, and to have it in my hands finally, like this labor of love, something that's been on my heart and on my mind for all these months, these years, relationships ending in the midst of all of it and stuff, bruh, like I can't even put into words where I was emotionally when it happened. But the funny part is that when it showed up, I still have so much more work to do. I had that first proof copy, and everybody's like, "Oh, can I get a book?" No,
nope.
Because one thing about Ronald Preston Clark, Ronald is not giving you a piece of work with my name on it that I don't find is perfection. I'm not going. I will edit until it can't be edited no more, and then I'll have two to three other people edit until it's ready. My proof copy, I found 10 things to change. Now, if I would have sent that out just because y'all wanted it, I would have been mad at myself. This is not a mixtape.
This
is a book that stays out forever.
That's dope. Just don't Dr. Dre yourself.
I mean, standing in your artistic integrity.
Yeah.
And that that's very admirable. But at the same time, I understand where you're coming from as a perfectionist who trying to.
I'm a Virgo, so it goes down.
Oh, okay. So y'all both Virgos.
Hey, September 11th, baby.
Well, I'm Pisces. I could be kind of sensitive, so I know that I could be very hard on myself.
Yeah.
About everything. I know, like, if I listen to this podcast, like, why the fuck did I sound like that? But it is what it is, and that's the beauty of art. It's subjective.
Yep.
So sometimes you just gotta be open to whatever comes out. When you put it out to the world, you might receive some good, the bad, the uglies, but as long as they're saying something.
Because the funny part is that I wrote it for me.
I
didn't realize until I'm in a fellowship program called Rise San Diego, and my Rise coach Azadeh, who has basically adopted me. She's amazing. She's she just got her doctorate from the University of San Diego. She's really talented, taking me under her wing, and she's the one that got me to recognize that the book was bigger than I thought it was. She was the one that made me realize that the impact it could potentially have on others, on my family members, on my friends, on the community at large. And I didn't really see it like that. I just saw it as where I needed to go to release the energy that I had. But she really she said, you need to push this. You need to put this out there for others. I'm not as talkative as I am, and all my friends know I wasn't most outspoken at Morris High School. It went down. I've been talking for a long time, but I still struggle with pushing my own stuff, pushing my own talent, because I fought so often throughout my life of being seen as cocky, being seen as conceited, simply because I talked. And so humility and being humble seemed to me like it was always attached to being silent. Being quiet, that's what made you humble. I'm like, I can still speak up and still be doing stuff for others, and still not be putting myself first, which is what I think humility is. So now this book, the part of the proceeds from the book is starting a scholarship for
the kids out there
for a Southeast San Diego district, black male senior. Yeah. And so part of the proceeds is going to that. We're going to be publishing as part of my community action project with Raj, we're going to be publishing the works of Southeast San Diego black male high school students, and we're going to publish a book called Brave. And it's basically going to turn into a yearly project that every year we have high school boys publishing this book, and it's going to help fund the scholarship. And my community and my family sent me to Hampton. I want to do the same to help out another kid do the same. My big dream is to send a kid from Southeast San Diego on a full ride to a HBCU. That's my dream in the next 5 to 10 years. I want to be able to hand a kid $120,000 and say, go be great somewhere and be good with it. And that's what it's all about. My hands are not the only hands touching this book. My videographer, E.B. Better, Ebony, who I love to death, who's been doing all my visuals and all my videos and whatnot, she gets a piece. The artist who drew this, he gets a piece. My sister's getting a piece. Everybody, the people around, there's a squad in this book. There's a squad around this book, and it's not just about me. It's bigger than me. And as long as I continue to have that kind of mindset of this book is bigger than myself, that's why it's being successful right now. That's why it's off to such a strong start. Is it where I hope it will be? No. If it stopped right now, would I be happy? Hell yeah. Because it's gotten into people's hands. We've sold about 225 copies since September 11th. I got multiple colleges and high schools and book clubs and stuff that are interested in the novel, and I'm still stalking Trevor Noah.
And get that keynote speech money too.
Trevor Noah will be here in December for a comedy show, and if I get backstage, it's a wrap.
I actually listened. I listened to the Audible version of Born to Crime. Very good book. I'm an Audible person, but I still read here and there.
What's funny is that people keep asking me to do a audio book.
Mm-hmm.
For one, reading 260 pages like out loud it's not fun. Like people,
it's a daunting task.
Yeah, people act like you just slap that together. That's not the case.
No.
Plus, I don't do anything simple. So if I do it, I want to do it where a different age of a black man reads each chapter. So I want to do it where
I was just about to say you should have like people.
I would have a 10-year-old read chapter 1, 12, 14, all the way up till we get to our elder statesmen, and to show the generations of black men all engaging in this literature. I think that would be really powerful, and it would allow me to not have to read 260 pages myself.
And it would be creative.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to do
give opportunities for actors, give people sound engineers,
and I would love to
music
do a
composition.
I would love to do a DVD version. I don't know why I have this beautiful image in my mind of sitting in front of a fireplace with my leg crossed, my book across my lap, and I look like James Baldwin's little brother. Like I would love to have just a bunch of people sit in those seats, do a reading. You have it's DVD, so have each chapter, lined up, and you can pop it into your CD player as audio. You can pop it into your DVD player as a video, or you can download the files onto, whatever, downloadable device that you have, your phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And just so people have different ways of getting the material. And at the end of the day, it's just about you hearing the story and you being involved in the story.
Jay Prince, Dame Dash put their audiobook on Apple Music.
See, exactly. As long as people get it, I don't care how you get it. If you get it in fan art, if you get
shout out to fan art.
If somebody bootlegs Video Love Letter, that would be the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like,
Ronald Preston
That's
Clark.
how you know you made it.
I got Winnie a Love Story. Wait, what? That's not my book.
Right.
It's got the V, got an extra V on the side of it, and
you put a bandana around his head right there.
It'd be a completely different story. You talk about toxic.
No, because what we want to do is put the bandana right there. You know, we want to make it red, blue, or green, but we got it right here next to the Minchie Slick poster. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. Yeah, that.
Yes, sir. Southeast forever.
All right, man. So you do a lot, man. Like I said, you were part of, like you mentioned before, Rise San Diego, and a plethora of other community outreach programs. But for you, Ronald, how do you make time for yourself to unwind? How do you get to collect yourself, to get your creative juices back? Because as a creative, you need to recharge. You need to go back home, back to the drawing board, reevaluate certain things, and then come back out.
Absolutely. Azadeh's favorite phrase for me is don't overwhelm yourself, because I'm always thinking big picture. It's the Virgo in me. Like I'm always got these big dreams. I'm always thinking, and I need people around me to be like, okay, we'll take this dream and let's take it step by step.
Yeah.
Like I have these dreams to do all the stuff with the boys in Southeast San Diego, and the people around me are like, all right, let's just start with publishing the book for the boys, and then we'll make that step one before we get to the next thing. Like I'm not gonna say them here because I don't want to put them out there yet, but I got extra dreams when it comes to celebrating our black males in Southeast San Diego. But we won't get into that now because I'm just focused on, hey, let's collect their work first. But my friends are great. I got some awesome friends, man, and they're really good at catching me at the right time. They're like, yo, bro, you want to just go grab a drink? You want to go get some food?
Perfect time.
Let's just go to the beach and walk around. You know what I'm saying? Like, and or just giving me a phone call, a nice little simple little phone call. Right now my schedule is nuts because I student teach at Moore's during the day and then I got class at night. Finding time to for myself is really hard. I drink a Monster in the morning and then I have to drink alcohol at night to go to sleep. So it's like,
man,
I'm not
careful with
that.
No.
I'm not saying I do that all the time. I just happened to do that yesterday. Them two mics,
routine.
Nah, them two mics are lemonades was good. But anyways, but in all honesty, I meditate. I've really taken to sitting in my car. I don't know what it is about, like, I'll pull up to the house or pull up to wherever I'm going and I'll just sit in the car for 30 minutes. I'll just put the windows down and just listen to the air. Like, San Diego got some of the best, freshest air you can possibly have, like, in particular areas. But I just, sometimes you just have to sit. sometimes you just have to be present with the world and with energy and with people.
Yeah, I practice a lot of existing.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just about, you just have to be sometimes. You just gotta be. And I crack jokes and stuff, but like it's one of those things where you can't be at your best without rest. I don't believe the people who say, oh, while you sleep,
team no sleep.
Yeah, team no sleep. No, you need another hashtag. You about to be team passed away at 35. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like rest was put there for a reason. Yeah. And now I'm not saying sleep 10, 12 hours. Like, I'm not saying waste away your day, but a 2-hour nap in the middle of the day, you might get a whole lot more done later on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't work well when I'm lacking energy. And so I have to find time to rest. I got guilty pleasures. I watch hella YouTube clips of old basketball games I've already watched 20 times. Like, I'm dead serious. You do not know how many times I've watched the 2000, the game 4 where Robert Horry hit the 3 against the Kings. I watched 30 times.
Ouch.
I remember. All I remember is, what's his name? Divac slapping the ball out there.
Yep.
Robert Horry caught it and just put it up.
And Divac tried to say that wasn't skill. I was like, Horry's been doing this his whole career.
Yeah.
The 2000 Blazers Lakers game 7 when the Blazers choked on that 15-point lead. I always listen to that.
Shout out
I always
Scottie
watch that.
Pippen, even though y'all choked.
And then I listen to Michael Jordan interviews. I listen to Kobe interviews. On the way here, I was listening to the one where Kobe and Shaq interview each other, which is a fabulous interview. I listen to, and these are the real randoms. I watch Wildin' Out clips, the little short ones they be posting sometimes, or like the best of like one person, like either Chico Bean or Carlos Miller, who's my
DC
favorite.
Yeah,
like, so I just watch little stuff like that. While I'm in grad school, I've stopped watching shows on Netflix because once I start watching a show, I'm invested. Like, I'm all in.
Season.
Like, it's not a game.
Don't watch those documentaries,
bruh. I watched
suck you in.
I watched Game of Thrones in like 2.5 weeks. Like,
that's fucking crazy.
I was watching that like 3 episodes.
That's
my
fucking
eyes
crazy.
Was open. But yeah, it's just like, and
Game of Thrones is no joke.
Yeah.
Please understand, Game of Thrones, each episode is like 40 to 50 minutes long.
It's not a game.
And it's like 7 seasons.
That's
not
a game.
Netflix
fucking nuts.
Netflix is like a symbiote. It's hard to get off.
He's like, I need to stop it.
We could do whatever we want.
Right.
What?
But
I need to go to work.
Watching.
We don't have to go to work.
It's funny because I'm a big movie dude. But I haven't really been going to the movies like I used to. But because grad school and my life right now is one of those lives where I literally could be doing something every minute of the day. I literally could if that was my choice. So I have to literally make conscious decisions to stop, to be like, all right, at 10 o'clock, dude, go to sleep, like, or dude, lay down, like, go read some ESPN, mess around on Facebook a little bit, like, do something to just get your mind off of things because you know how much work is coming. Tomorrow I start teaching, because as a student teacher, you take over the classroom for 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah. So I'm taking over for 6 weeks, and we're doing a Ta-Nehisi Coates Between the World and Me with Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly unit, where we're doing we're studying narrative storytelling through narrative rap. So the first week, we're doing Brenda's Got a Baby by Tupac. We're doing Common's Song for Asada, and we're doing Lupe's Intruder Alert, just to bring narrative rap to the
Drago's
table.
Wave yet?
Man, you saw my Facebook post where I asked for narrative rap, and I got 300 songs. It's hard. Like people's like, dude, you gotta do this one, you gotta do that one, you gotta do this one, you gotta. I was like, dude, I got one class. Like, thankfully, I got to Song for Asada because that's literally a history lesson on top of being a narrative storytelling. But I try to I'm doing that for this class, and so I'm doing that during the day. Then I got class at night still, and still pushing Vinnie, because for those of y'all in San Diego, I'm literally either myself or somebody else in my squad are dropping the books off at your house. I'm not mailing off any San Diego books.
He's pulling up, y'all.
Like,
wow.
Because it's a double sword. The business side of it is, why would I mail it to somebody who lives around the corner? If I live in Paradise Hills, why am I gonna mail it to somebody in Paradise Hills? That makes no sense. So I'm going to drive over to your house and drop the joint off at your door. Like, I literally have pictures of me just leaving stuff at doorsteps, putting it in mailboxes. I just send people the picture, like, yo, it's here, type of thing. But it's also personal.
Yeah.
Like, the support I've gotten for this book has been amazing. Like, I'm pulling up to the Four Corners of Life taco shop, and somebody who's
I like that change.
Yeah, somebody
that rebrand.
Yeah, no, it's Four Corners of Life forever. And somebody outside the door, outside eating, sees me pull up and it's like, yo, man, I heard about your book. I was like, what? Like, for one, I didn't recognize him. But in Southeast, even if you don't recognize people, you still talk to them. And so, it's like, they recognize you, it's from somewhere, because Southeast is so small. We know each other somehow, some way. And so, it was just beautiful to have that person say something. And so, the community's been amazing in regards to the support for the book. And I've just really been blessed. And so, I feel like, you want to know what? If y'all are going to support me, I'm going to drop this book off so I can see you. I can hug you, I can thank you, and tell you how much your support means to me. Because, like I said, this is bigger than us. I mean, this is bigger than me. And if I can be, an author that comes out the area, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And people are like, yo, I mean, I remember when that cat was just hosting Lyrical Exchange or doing something else.
It makes the dream not too far-fetched because, like, this dude went to Moores, I went to Moores.
Yeah, exactly.
This, like...
It's the Steph Curry effect. Like, Steph Curry being 6'3", $180 if he's that. And
pulling up from 50.
And he's pulling up from 50. Now every little dude's like, yo, I don't have to be dunking on people no more. I don't have to be this uber athlete. I don't have to be 6'8", 240 to make it to the league. I just need to be skilled at what I do. I tell kids all the time, be great at what you do and everything else is going to fall into place. But hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. If you're naturally gifted at anything and you don't put in any time to improve that gift, then you basically literally giving your own self a ceiling. I always put myself like this. When I was chasing poetry, I was like, as long as Rudy Francisco was doing poetry, I got work to do. When I was doing screenwriting, as long as Ava DuVernay, Michael Arndt, Aaron Sorkin are writing screenplays, I got work to do. In prose, as long as Coates and Whitehead, as long as Ta-Nehisi Coates, as long as Jesmyn Ward, as long as Roxanne Gay are out here in this game, I got work to do. There's always somebody out there that's better than you until you're the best. So until that day hits, you got work to do. And so don't rest on your laurels and be like, I'm done with this. Nah, I read every day. I write every day in some way, shape, or form. I got to find something to do to improve my craft because it's a craft. When you treat something as a craft, as what you do, you look at it completely differently because you look at it as this is something I'm building over time. Even in this book itself, the beginning portion of it, I'm not as good of a writer as I am at the end, which is the weirdest thing. I notice it. People who've read it haven't really noticed it, but I can see the change. I can see the difference because just in living my life and reading and studying and getting better at what I do, of course I should be better. If y'all listen to y'all first podcast and still think y'all good, y'all didn't improve. You know what I'm saying? Like that should not be the case. You should not look at your first podcast and be like, yo, man, that was our best show. Hell no. When I was hosting Lyrical Exchange, compared to my first year to my fourth, I could host Lyrical Exchange in my freaking sleep. In the beginning, that wasn't the case. Nah. I got to the point, like mid my third year, I found out that cats was coming to Lyrical Exchange to watch me host.
Don't get me wrong, like our first episode, I still like our first episode, but I know we've came a long way.
It's a nostalgia thing. It's not so much that it's bad. It's just that because you've studied your craft, you've gotten better, you notice the nooks and crannies, the little stuff you do now. It's like even with a basketball player. Mike was still good as a rookie. Yeah. But if he looked at himself at 28, 29 compared to that cat, he was like, man, I was just living off athleticism. But now I can look at a man's hips and know which direction I need to go. It becomes more of a mental game. Yeah. So now I can look at a sentence and go, I changed that word. Yeah, I changed this punctuation. I moved this over here. That's why I study Baldwin. Baldwin's syntax is a problem. Like this dude just constructs his sentences at a level that just nobody else can touch, which is why I consider him to be the GOAT. And one of the best compliments I've gotten is when my Mount Rushmore of writers is James Baldwin, Toni Morrison, Juno Diaz, and Tim O'Brien. If anybody ever tells me, and this has happened about once or twice already, that they see elements of those four writers in my writing, that's like the biggest compliment you can give me. To say, like, I see Baldwin's influence. I see Morrison's influence. And that just means I'm on the right track. And and my second book, when I start writing that, I'm somebody who I often compare myself to what I did previously. While I was writing Vinnie, I'd write a chapter and go, damn, that's the best thing I've ever written. Now I got to do it again?
Right.
Like imagine Kobe drops 81 and now the next day he gets 62. Oh man, you suck now.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Bruh, that's
or
how
drop 35.
Yeah,
so.
dropped 35. He averaged 50 something over those 2 games.
Yeah.
But it's like it's being able to find the greatness and find what you did well each time.
Yeah.
Like this might be great at something different. This one might have been great because your diction was strong. This one might have been great because the dialogue was bomb.
Yeah.
This one might be great because of the sentence structure. Like being able to find the great things you do in each relative piece to be able to move on to the next one. Because otherwise you'll get stuck because it's like, I can't do this again. Mm-hmm. And I always know I've written my best when I go back to it later and go, I can never write that again. Because I was in such a particular space in order to pull it off that I wouldn't be able to get there again.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a lot. We got a lot of work to do.
Try to tell you.
I know we got a lot to work. There's Joe Rogan, there's Charlamagne the God, there's Joe Budden. There's a lot of other dope podcasters out there. I got some work to do. We got some work to do.
If you walk around and say that that's the theme of your life is I got work to do, you'll keep working. That's what I look at.
Probably name the title. Work to do. I know you've talked about change, talk about impact, and a lot of people they gloss over it lately when it comes to voting. Local politics.
Monica Montgomery all day, 4th district.
We
got.
So y'all trying to get Murder Cole out of there?
Do we really got time for that? Murder Cole's team. Murder Cole's team texted me the other day, trying to ask me, am I supporting her for because she's for police reform and some other shit?
Oh well, hold on,
I wrote back, hell no.
He said, hell no, and I know that you're not a man of violence, but he said, hell no.
Hell no. Like she outraised Monica before the primary 4-1 and lost by 6 votes.
So that librarian gonna save her?
No, because the thing is she's asking for support outside the community. It's the community who's voting for you, lady. Then you watch her speak and she's struggling. It's like her and the English language are in a fight and she's losing. Like mercilessly. I'm talking about like MMA beatdown. Like
Khabib and Conor?
Dude, and she's when he hopped over that gate, that was the funniest thing I ever seen.
He wasn't done.
And I'll go watch MMA. I just happened to be at somebody else's house who's watching it. That was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time.
I don't know why Conor wants a rematch. I know going on a tangent. I don't know why Conor wanted a rematch. I don't know if you guys watched the fight or any of the replays. Khabib was beating the dog shit out of him, and he's talking shit while he was beating his ass.
You want to know why? Because he still got paid. That's why he's not tripping.
He said, talk. The Khabib was punching him. Talk now. Talk. Let's talk. And then after, I guess, when Herb Dean broke him up, Conor said under his breath, it's just business.
Yeah, bruh.
That's apologizing.
Time out. You whoop somebody's ass, and then you still have the energy to go after the rest of his family and friends.
Right.
Like that means that Conor did such little amount of damage that dude had enough energy. That's almost like when you had sex with a woman and after you're done, she gets up and like starts her life again. Like,
she gets up and goes to the
gym. She's like, all right, I'm gonna go live my entire existence now. And I'm like, wait, hold on.
I didn't do a good job.
I didn't do a good job here. If you
she's supposed to be lifeless right now.
Yeah, like she's supposed to be in that sprawled out position. Like there's supposed to be a nap that goes down right now. Like,
facts.
Right.
Like, but that's not the case.
Nope.
And so
she goes for a run.
Yeah, she's out here like, she's like, I got all. She's like, that might as well have had a monster.
That was
like I might as well have had a Red Bull out of here.
Like that was refreshing.
You ain't on any enhancements, are you, girl?
Man, dude, she on supplements. Like, that's not good at all. Oh my God.
Maybe that fine Columbia, but we don't talk about that. But anyway, back to local. Back to local politics.
And honestly, man, it's a new age. It's a new time because, and I was talking to my mom about the 4th district, and I told her, I said, if 18 to 35, 40 comes out to vote, Myrtle's gone. Because what it is that it's the old guard. It's the and I love some of our elder statesmen. I love some of our elders in Southeast, but they're still holding on to these old motifs, these old feelings of what our area should be. And we have this vibrant young group of amazing leaders and activists and educators and people that are involved in civic engagement that are ready to take over. We're ready to take our rightful place as the leaders of our community because we are the leaders of the community. So we need someone who represents us and represents everything that we're about in that office. Monica left Myrtle Cole's office after she used to work for Myrtle. Like, Monica used to work for Myrtle Cole in the 4th District. And then when Myrtle made that, when she made that comment about it being okay for cops to racially profile us because we're the ones committing the crimes, we were done.
That's a slippery slope.
And
right
guess
there.
what? The moral character and the amazingness that is Monica Montgomery, she quit after that. She said, I can't be associated with a woman who is willing and okay with giving police basically the right to just follow us around. To basically to stop and frisk. And so when that happened, all hell started to break loose. And then Myrtle was barely even spending any time promoting or campaigning or anything. And Monica and her squad, and I was part of the squad a couple of days, were on their feet every day. Her brother was on his feet for months and months, every weekend, knocking on doors, talking to people, doing the real grassroots groundwork. And Monica beats her by 6 votes after being outraised 4-1.
Wow. Now,
this last quarter, Monica's outraised her because Myrtle's now losing all her support. Her staff is bouncing, people looking for jobs and stuff. I ain't gonna say no name specifically. I just know a lot of information, and it's people, people jumping shit. And
that's
they
that journalism
as they
should,
yeah, really.
Right.
And it's just talking to people, but it's a different time, dude. Like when you got women like Genevieve Jones-Wright who ran for DA, and she got 200-something thousand votes in San Diego, and that's a big deal because that's not just Southeast. That's the whole county. Yeah. Now, yes, did she lose? But she won at the same time. We let San Diego know through her that we're coming.
Putting people on notice, basically.
We're putting people on notice. And Monica's. I mean, we vote on November 6th. Oh, no, not November 6th. I'm lying. What's the date of the election? I feel really bad saying
the
this.
Midterms.
The midterm votes.
Midterms.
That weekend.
I don't even know. I need to start
look
knowing.
it up so we can say
that.
Right
Yeah, because that weekend is huge. And we need to get out and vote. If you know an 18-year-old high school student, that person can still vote, and they can vote for Monica Montgomery. And if they live in Southeast San Diego, they live in the 4th District, they live in the Diamond, get her in there, because if she gets in there, we got one of us.
Let the man get some water real quick. Oh, shoot. But, yeah, man, the thing about, for me, politics, you know, I always want to be an objective.
No, you're right. It was November 6th.
It is November 6th?
I want to be an objective
I knew that.
and informed voter, you know, before I step into the polls.
Absolutely.
So the thing is, like, for me, I always like to keep both sides. And I don't know, like, how people view things. When people talk about left or right, I like to be dead center.
It's about people's character.
I looked into their character, and one of the things that I started to use now is follow the money. Mm-hmm. Who's funding these people? Who are funding these propositions?
Absolutely.
And everybody has their own agenda. Everybody has, you know, their own personal interest. The thing is, if it serves you, it is just two ways that people are going to vote. People are going to serve themselves or to serve the people, with themselves included.
In those people?
Yeah, so my thing is, like, I always want to tell black people, I don't give a fuck if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican. Just make sure you do right by your people.
Absolutely.
Do right by your people. So like, and like, I don't try to like go in on Kanye because he's visiting Donald Trump in the White House. Some people already X'd him out, deservingly so, if you feel that way. But at the same time, Kanye came to that man believing that maybe he could get something through to Trump, even though most of the black community say there's no getting through to him. But at least he's trying to talk to him, engage with him, because as far as black advancements, I think you do need a balance of engagement and resistance. You can't go on full-on resistance, because then it makes the other side, whoever you guys want to call it, just make them stronger. Yeah. You got to break them down with love, engagement, and that's and people don't see that. I see it, but that's just my point of view of how I think Kanye is trying to break it down.
I think politics is dang near like religion. It needs to be a personal journey. Like, I think a lot of it is too much out in the world and out in the scope, and it's like people don't know I don't have really politics. I have being a freaking human being. Yeah, it's like, this is my feeling about this. This is how I see this. This is what matters to me. This is what means something to me. There are certain topics in politics I really don't care about. Like I don't care about. I'm not an animal person. I don't care. But at the same time, I'm not going to stop somebody else from being all up in arms about animal rights because that's passionate to them.
Yeah.
And so if it means something to them, then do what you do as long as it's not harmful to anybody else. Yeah. And so it's really just about finding. I'm black all day. So if it impacts black people, I'm interested now. Like that's what I'm concerned
and that's
about.
how we should always approach these polls. It's like I don't, that's how it is because the Asians gonna look out for each other, the Mexicans, the Hispanics, Latinx, or whatever you guys want to call it, they're gonna look out for each other. Jewish people, they're gonna look out for each other. Black folks, we kind of just like tribalism towards one party or the other, and not being objective. And that's what I'm saying. Like I don't care what party.
I will say this though.
Just do right by your people.
I will say.
People
I
ask
will
me
say
if
this though. This midterm election is about to go down. It's about to be. For one, women right now in politics are kicking ass. Our women of color are winning spots all over the country right now, and it's beautiful to watch.
Oh yeah.
There are so many Republicans who have tied themselves to Trump or tied themselves to this movement they think they have going on right now, not realizing that the people are still the ones that vote you in. And like the extreme measures Georgia's going through right now to try to prevent 50,000 voters, with 7 out of 10 of them being black people, from even voting. They know what's coming.
Polls,
they know what's coming. They know that they messed up. They know that it's a wrap for them.
Alabama was like the foreboding.
Foreboding when the South starts changing colors, all hell's breaking loose. Like the last thing that they really got over on us was still getting Kavanaugh in. Like that was the last straw for a lot of people because now you've turned on women, and everybody, unfortunately and sadly, the feminist movement is about white women. They forget about black women all the time.
Ooh,
but this Kavanaugh joint, this was against white women. So now white women are, oh no. Oh, it's a war against us now.
They're taking a knee.
Yeah, now they're taking a knee. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. And then this whole, we have to protect our sons. It's a war against men. How about you just teach your boys to not do the shit that keeps getting them in trouble?
Right.
Like instead of it's always women being victimized, and it's like, and it's not up to a woman to prevent a man from doing it. It's the man's decision in the first place. Yeah. If she walks by, don't touch her. This whole notion that sexual assault is this thing that boys just happen to do. No, that's rape culture talking. That's rape culture talking.
And have you ever looked at the 11, the pyramid of 11 of
absolutely
of agreements?
I actually brought the. Oh, you talking about the rape culture pyramid? Yeah. I brought that to my young brother book club at Gompers, and I showed the boys, and I said, you guys, none of y'all are rapists, none of y'all are murderers, none of y'all are at this top of this pyramid. But that bottom, the locker room talk. You throw a ball like a girl, attaching feminine qualities to weakness, to things that are bad. You're doing this, that, and the third. Like all that bottom row, we all have done it. And I even told him, I said, even Mr. Clark is fed into this bottom row. I said, this is where we can make a difference, is being able to call out our friends, calling out the men that are around us about this type of terminology and about this type of conversation. And that's what can hopefully eventually lead to us not even getting towards the top of that pyramid, because we're having these conversations with our boys.
And as far as since we're just the guys here, but there have been instances of women being creeps too.
Absolutely.
And we got to hold women accountable as well, because not many people know, even though the statistics aren't there or is lower, but it's still happening. And I think sometimes there have been instances, I don't know if your guys have been growing up, older women, I'm talking about like me being like maybe 16. Yeah. I remember this one time I went to Knoxville City, went down the slide. I was in better shape back then. I was wrestling in high school and shit, so I looked all right. And I could have sworn maybe this 39, 40-year-old woman was like, take off your shorts. And I could tell that wasn't like, it wasn't no teenage girl. That girl was not my age. And or even like, my mom's first boyfriend, when she moved to San Diego, his daughter was like 15 years old, talking about she want to do nasty things to me.
I will say this. Though that is the case because both men and women feed into toxic masculinity. Both men and women feed into patriarchal norms. You can't have either one without both sides being in collusion. But in regards to but right now we can't turn the lens to men right now in regards to trying to hold women accountable for the actions, because the culture is so embedded into what being a man, quote unquote, is that it's not going to change until it changes with us. I feel like in this regard, we've done so much damage over time of just with our little boys. By the time you're 5 years old, one of your first toys is a gun. One of the first sports you're introduced to is football. You've already been told you can't cry. So it's like by 5 years old, I'm already turned into this non-emotional, explosive, violent human being, and I'm 5 years old. Like, the best way for us to change all these things and change all these interactions is to get to our boys at an earlier age. A lot of us who start to recognize what toxic masculinity is, what misogyny is, what sexism is, what all these terminology are, it's not until we're in our mid-20s. Like, until somebody's actually sat us down and checked us. I've been checked by multiple people, both men and women, but primarily women, with some of my previous behavior when I was younger. Like, and I look back at some of the stuff I've said, I'm like, damn, I did this, I did that, and the third. I got checked in high school a couple times, and I didn't realize I got checked at the time, and I felt bad because of the personal relationship between me and that person. But I didn't change the behavior. I didn't start changing the behavior till much later. And it shouldn't be taking us this long to get to that point where we recognize, like, this is not the type of behavior that we need to be showcasing. And as long as we can start to educate our boys at a much younger age on what it's like to just be people and not feel pressured into this mold of what being masculine is. Like, it's funny, the more comfortable I become in my masculinity, the more non-masculine stuff I do. Like, I'll get a pedicure in a heartbeat because that mess feels good. If you ain't had a pedicure, go get you one, bruh. Like, I almost kicked the lady in the face because she tickled me, and
funny.
She was scrubbing the bottom of my foot. I was like, hee hee. Like, I was feeling good because guess what? That's a great date to have with your woman. There's spots that literally sell alcohol and get pedis. Like, you can get a pedicure. I've had one manicure in my life, but I didn't realize what a cuticle was until I went. I was like, ugh, I got dead skin. This all on me and stuff. This is disgusting. And then I've had a mud bath. I've been in a grotto. I've been getting massages. I've been in the sauna. Women have been doing it right for years.
That's why they live longer. Yeah,
and then we're out here because there's actually a business in LA run by a black man where it's set up like a barbershop. So it has big TVs and like it looks like stuff you would do at a barbershop, but it does pedicures, manicures, and that type of stuff. So like you could be with your boys and be like, "Yo, man, this football game is great." Make sure my nail polish is clear. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
I want them French tips too, nigga.
Because to me,
she took your feet. What you looking at?
Yo, because to me personally, the true testament of being masculine to me is being able to do those behaviors and nobody can knock you off. Nobody can hit you with you this blah blah blah. So Prince was the most feminine dude ever and would steal all of our women from us. Yep. While rocking high heels or platforms or whatever, rocking a blouse. And if your girl came home and was like, "Babe, I cheated on you," and you'd be like, "With who?" You be like, "With Prince." You'd walk over to her, give her a high five, and be like, "Tell me about it." Because if you cheated on and it's with Prince, you're like, "Yo, Prince like my girl? That's what's up. I got a bad one. Because Prince got it." Like, you just got to take that L, bruh. You just got to take that L. You got to take that L.
I don't think Easy agrees with that.
I don't give a fuck who it is. I give her a high five, but I'd be like,
now leave.
So, yeah. No, about us.
Man.
We're done.
If Prince gets your girl, you just got to take that L. I don't care what anybody says. Rest in peace to one of the greatest artists of all time. But I say that jokingly, but it's just this notion of femininity and masculinity. Like it's who made these decisions on what that actually meant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look really good in colors that I was not even allowed to wear when I was younger. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or enjoying certain aspects of life without, like, I still have friends who still clown me about the drinks I drink. I drink drinks because they taste good. I don't drink drinks to make this is a disgusting alcohol face.
Yeah,
You know,
like,
Stella,
yeah.
Stella,
Me-
Stella
yeah,
Rosa
like this
over
real strong
Fireball.
Yeah,
Me
like
too,
no.
me too.
Give me. I used to drink. My boys would take pictures of me all the time because you know the Gaslamp Strip Club joint over here. It's not a strip club for those of you guys that are listening. It's not an actual strip club. It's
just called.
But it's called strip because you can make your own steaks over there.
Yeah.
And there was a drink called a Kinky Key Lime Martini, and it was this green martini with and they would sprinkle graham cracker like on the top, and with whip. Man, dude, it was the most. Whoo, that drink was bomb. That was the best drink I've ever had in San Diego. And my friends would always take a picture of me, and be like, "Yo, we got to show everybody that you're drinking." And I used to be like, "Oh man, don't do that." Now I'm like, "I don't give a freak. This mess is delicious." Now you over here with 90% vodka and 3%, and 10% Sprite, looking like you struggling. While I'm over here sipping on my goodness, and I'm still getting to where I need to go.
And it was funny because you know, like back in the day,
yo, man, I want that mess to sneak up on you. That's what an adios was back in the day. Like you have one adios, you down that joker and be like, "Oh, what happened?" 5 minutes later, you dancing between two people and you don't even know where you met them or how long you're gonna be there.
So like you get introduced to hard liquor when you're a kid. And I'm pretty sure this happened to every black family. You had that drunk uncle.
Not my family.
Like the
not your family.
Gathering,
The family gathering. He's like, "Hey, come here, boy. Have this. Put some hair on your chest."
Nah, my family is the most. My mom's side is the most non-alcohol family. Like I can't even have it in the crib. Like let alone have it open. My other side of the family, now over there, I can drink every once in a while. Like once I got of age, I would be like just handed like as soon as I walk in the door, "Yo, you want something?" I'm like, "Damn!" Like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I wasn't that dude, man. I wasn't curious about alcohol.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm good, man.
I had a wine cooler at 19. That was like my first. I tell you, you want to know what's funny? My first actual alcoholic beverage that wasn't a wine cooler. I was in Indianapolis at the National Association of Black Journalists Convention. And one of my friends, Brandon Meacham, he's this tall, skinny, 6'6" black dude who I love to death. That's my boy. And I'm the only one in the club. Like I got in even though I was 19 because I had people. And and he says, "You the only one in here without a drink." I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Dude, you need a drink." I was like, "I'll get one if you buy it." Forgetting that this dude come from money. So so he's like, "Bet." So he goes over, grabs me a drink. He's like, "What you want?" I said, "Give me something, give me something sweet because I don't really like alcohol, the taste of alcohol." My first alcoholic beverage was a Sex on the Beach. And that's what led to me getting to Kinky Key Lime Martinis.
Hey, live your truth, bro.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
Yep. I make drinks.
Because I've always had that idea to be honest. I always walked around as an open book and be honest. Like whatever it is that I like, I'll get clowned for it, but I'll be like, "Hey, that's me, dude. Like y'all do you, whatever."
Like I don't give a fuck. Like
don't get me wrong. Like some stuff will get to me. Like fuck y'all. But But for the most part,
once you're comfortable being you, man. Once you're comfortable being you, that's what it's all about.
I had to keep telling myself that, like this is just me, man.
Like even with Vinny's character, like there's gonna be moments in the book where you're gonna question his sexuality, and then I want you to question why you're questioning it. Because the only thing that determines your sexuality is who you're attracted to. It's literally the only criteria. Yeah, is who you're attracted to. And so if I'm doing all these other things that you think fit masculinity or don't fit masculinity, but I still like and date women, then I'm still a straight dude. Like I have a poem called Mirror Mirror, and I'm actually thinking about making it in a book, but I don't know yet. But it's literally about this the first half of the poem is about a character who he's a high school kid who's a fashion designer. Yeah. And he uses himself as his own mannequin. So sometimes he'll come to school wearing women's clothing, wearing girls' clothing because he just wants to see how it fits. And everybody treats him because he looks externally gay. He heads to his home. He's dating a supermodel bad woman, sleeping with everything that all the dudes that on campus would be jealous of, would give him praise for, but they're so busy dealing with him externally that they don't even recognize that he's pulled one of the baddest women in the area. The second part of the poem is about the football player, the star football player. It looks like a man's man and everything, and he's going on recruiting trips and stuff, and they think that he's dealing with women when he's there. He's dealing with dudes. So, but because he's externally comes off like a man's man, nobody is picking on him. And it's like, so which one of these stereotypes is more dangerous? And so it's this whole notion that us reacting to someone who acts a certain way or looks a certain way externally is so detrimental. Like I come from being raised under a man who was narcissistic, misogynistic, sexist, and homophobic. When I got to college, I started meeting these beautiful people and finding out they were homosexual after the fact. That doesn't change my friendship with you.
Yeah.
Like, you're still this beautiful person that I met. You're still my friend. We still have the interactions that we have.
Yeah.
The only difference is that you dating who you dating and I'm dating who I'm dating. Who cares? Like, what you're doing on your own time and what I'm doing on my time should not impact the relationship that me and you have as friends. And once that started to grow in me and for me to develop over time, man, dude, some of my favorite people on the whole planet are homosexuals. Some of the best conversations I ever had in my life were with my homosexual friends, like, or people that, or because you have the whole list now, and I'm even learning that now as a teacher, with cisgender and not saying hermaphrodite, but it's intersex, like the politically correct terms to make sure that everyone who is around you is comfortable around you. And that was another thing I learned at Lyrical Exchange. Like, I got called out a couple times for making comments that made some of my regulars uncomfortable. So I grew up as a man and grew up as a person because these people were able to come to me and say, yo, I didn't feel comfortable with you saying such and such. And I took it to heart. And that's how I've grown over time. I'm still growing every day. And nobody ever stops growing. You keep growing, then you die. Like, and that whole process is a beautiful thing. For me to look at I'm 32 years old. When I look at myself at 25, 26, I'm so proud of the man I am now. So proud. And I had to go through pain after pain after pain to get to this point. And a lot of that pain is in the book. And I hope people see what Vinnie's journey is like. Every person who's read it has said they found something for themselves, whether you're a woman or a dude, whether you're black or you're not. You're going to find something within this boy's human journey that's going to resonate with you. And that's the beauty and the power in the literature.
That's deep. Now it's time to talk about some leisure shit. Is it getting heavy for y'all? All right, we'll light it up.
Hey, I'm multifaceted around here. That's how we do. What we got? What you got?
You're a sports journalist.
Ooh,
You're a big basketball fan.
Basketball all day, baby.
What you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to watching the Lakers implode.
What?
I'm looking forward to.
They might make top 4 in the West, bro.
I mean, but I say this, like, I say that in jest, actually, because I'm a Kobe fan. I'm a Kobe fan, which made me a pseudo Laker fan. I'm now a Steph Curry fan because I've been a fan of him since Davidson, which made me a pseudo Warriors fan. But I'm a fan of Steph Curry. I'm not a fan of the Warriors. I'm a fan of Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And so with LeBron, who I haven't liked since 2006, even before Miami. Because I had some little behind the scenes information that he was kind of doing some people dirty that I didn't appreciate. So I was like, you know what? It's gonna be more fun to not like you.
Share just
nope.
a little
and
minor?
So nope. And so
we can share it out off air, right?
And so yeah, I'll tell you out there. But he and plus I was a Melo fan coming out of college. With Melo coming out of college, and I felt Melo should have beat him out for Rookie of the Year because Melo went
to the playoffs.
Melo was a leading scorer on a playoff team, and Bron didn't make the playoffs in the West. In the East.
Yeah.
But Melo didn't win Rookie of the Year. That didn't make any sense. But anyways.
Yeah,
I'm not a Melo fan.
Simmons,
I'm not a Melo fan now. Yeah, I'm not a Melo fan now.
Rookie of the Year.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah, he shouldn't have did that either.
So, but I've not liked LeBron the player, and even when he started winning, I was like, you know what? It's just more fun to go against him, like because he will win sometimes, lose sometimes. It makes it fun to be against him. I don't like him as a player as much as I love him as a man. That dude is an awesome father. That dude is in his kids' lives. This dude is a philanthropist. He's socially conscious. Like, him as a man, I bang with Bron. But I'm not going to turn my back on the fact I don't like him as a basketball player. It just makes it fun for me. So, watching him in a Laker outfit is hilarious. The cast of characters they put around him is the most cartoonish crap I've seen in a long time. You got Lance Stevenson, JaVale. They used to say that there was a rule. You can have one crazy dude on your team, but you can't have a dude that he can hang out with. That was the rule back in the day. You think of all the great teams, there was one psychopath, but he didn't have nobody to kick it with. Yeah. If you have a psychopath who has somebody to kick it with, you're going to have an issue. They got 5, so they got some issues. But I'm looking forward to seeing how – I think Brandon Ingram's going to have a breakout season. I think he's going to be awesome. I think Kuzma is going to be the one that's affected the most negatively out of their young guns. No, not Kuzma. Lonzo Ball.
I was about to say, you don't think so?
Kuzma's going to eat off of those
Kuzma's going to do well, but the thing is that Kuzma came into the league as a rookie old. So his ceiling is much lower than people. People are treating him like he's 19. He's got all this room to grow. He came in at 22. Like, he doesn't have that much room to really grow, and he's not going to have the ball that much now. Rondo's better, so I want to play him more.
Yeah, he's a
And
beast.
then Lonzo shoots like 9% from the free throw line. This dude is a terrible free throw. Shoots like 46 as a point guard, like from the free throw line. You're Shaq at the free throw line. Lonzo doesn't go. Me and my boy Garen were talking about this yesterday. You know Garen.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about it yesterday. Lonzo doesn't finish in the lane. He's terrible at finishing in the lane, and he doesn't shoot free throws well. So he doesn't do anything 3-point line down. So he's like, and then he can't shoot. So it's like, what does this dude do well? What he does well is full court passes.
Yeah.
He's the Kevin Love of point guards. That's what we said yesterday. He's the Kevin Love of point guards. If he does an outlet to Bron or any of them dudes, he's gonna be real, real good. But this whole transcendent talent stuff that everybody's talking about with dude, nah.
I see
I'm
some
looking
potential in the man.
He's
so.
he's gonna be solid, but this whole notion that he's like the second coming in the point guard rank, no.
So you think LeVar's going to be very quiet this season?
It's been interesting to see how quiet he's been this offseason.
Yeah.
But once Bron comes to your city, like you
You shut up.
He is the eclipse of everything else.
Sit your dad ass down.
But I will say this: this has been. It seems like every year I end up saying this, but I'm so looking forward to this season, and it's not because of who I think is going to win at the end, because it's Golden State. But it's all these little side stories. Like the NBA is a year-round sport. It's the only major sport in our country that we care about all year. Period. Because the characters are great. Even the bad teams got hilarious storylines. You got Jimmy Butler going to practice,
punking people.
Bruh. He said,
Shout out
"I'm
to
taking
Jimmy
the
Butler.
third stringers.
He's
I'm
a Virgo.
gonna beat the. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I'm gonna beat the first stringers. I'm gonna tell you that you need me."
To the GM.
The funniest thing I've heard in a
That's
long
gangsta.
time.
You motherfuckers need me, and then do a
And he's-
impromptu interview with Rachel Ray.
And he's
That's the beauty of it, dude.
and
It
he's
wasn't
the second best
impromptu.
player.
It wasn't impromptu. He called Rachel Nichols the night before.
I mean Rachel Nichols. Yeah.
and told her, "Come." He said, "Come tomorrow. I'm ready to talk."
So
goes to
before
practice.
he did it?
Before he did it.
Wow, I didn't
then
know
goes to practice, does what he does, then interviews with her. So now he has something to say. I'm like, dude, this is the most ingenious marketing move I've seen in a long time. Now I will say this: there's gonna be teams in the league that are now gonna not want to trade for him because of how he was acting.
Yeah.
But teams like Miami and teams that have like strong
I
cultures.
don't know if D-Wade wants him on that team.
D-Wade don't have a choice. D-Wade.
This is last season.
This is last season. And by the way, that video he made was dope.
Yeah, it was.
I really like that. That really made. Cause I've always been a D-Wade fan.
One last dance.
All I'm saying is you better hide Gabby.
Yo. Oh wow. You wanna know what's the funny thing about D-Wade and Bron? Because we've been talking about Bron, and in the conversation for the GOAT and all this other stuff. And one thing that gets lost a lot, and I feel like we are almost shortchanging how great Dwayne Wade was, or it has been.
Mm-hmm.
They both have 3. They both have 3 chips.
Yeah.
And if Bron doesn't go to Miami, he might not even have 3. And D Wade taught him how to win, taught him how to finish. And one of the the NBA is the best what if sport. Like there's so many
definitely.
what ifs. What if? How do we look at D Wade and LeBron's careers? If one, they beat Dallas in 2011, because who's Finals MVP if they win that series? D Wade.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about a D Wade in his prime, Bron in his prime, first chip in Miami, D Wade's second, LeBron's first, and D Wade is the one that ends up winning the
MVP.
the MVP,
The Finals MVP.
We're looking at D Wade completely differently, because D Wade is the number 3 all-time 2 guard. He's only behind Michael and MJ, because number 3 before that was Jerry West. Jerry West is called Mr. Clutch, and he's the logo, and that dude was like 1 for 9 in chips. If he was playing now, we'd clown the mess out of him. But
Like,
because
just like we call LeBron.
yeah, LeBron got 3, and people be like, he don't win enough. like,
What do you want from me, man?
like, how much more can I do? But
Win, dude.
yeah, but
Finish.
I just
Finish that.
This year is gonna be so much fun, dude, because that Boston team is about to be loaded and nasty.
Oh, they're gonna run the East.
If they don't win 65 games, I'm gonna be real mad.
Where you think AD going? Because
Nowhere. He has 2 years left on his contract, and people act like he's ready to go.
Yeah, they talking like he gonna leave right now.
Yeah, the New Orleans Pelicans, for one, nobody is waking up one day and saying, I'm going to go sign with the Pelicans. None of the superstars are headed to the NO.
You
Much
hear
as I
me?
love the NO. Now, so you don't just trade a transcendent star because the media tells you to. Anthony Davis, on pure talent, is the second best player in the world. On pure talent. Now, He hasn't done enough really winning wise to really put him in that mode. But as just a pure talent, this dude is unstoppable on both the offensive and defensive ends.
Who's he behind?
Bron. Until Bron decides I'm no longer in my prime. This is the longest prime of any player ever. Yeah. I've never seen somebody be elite, like legit elite, for this long.
I think that man takes care of himself like no other.
He spends $1.5 million every year just on his body. He gets in a cryogenic chamber and just sits there. I don't even think he sleeps. I think he recharges.
And he takes his juice.
I think he gets a plug. He puts it in his thigh, and some electricity goes through him.
Fuck
and then
the TB12. I want to with that shit LeBron is on.
Yo, bruh. Right. Like, it's on a whole nother plateau.
Puts a plug or a syringe.
Yeah. Nah, it's... I will say this. It sucks we didn't get to see a Cavs-Boston series with Kyrie. Because now I don't think that we're going to get a chance to see prime LeBron against Kyrie in a series, and I really wanted to see.
But does Kyrie want to stay in Boston?
The thing is, Kyrie's a different kind of cat. Now, he did just tell an entire stadium worth of people that he's staying in Boston. He did just say that, like, literally
and he did
loud.
apologize about saying the world was flat too.
Yeah, he also didn't say that he didn't still think it. He just apologized for saying it out loud because he could have kept the shit to his damn self. But because Kyrie is just a different kind of cat. I will say this: there is no reason for him to leave Boston. You're talking about one of the best run franchises, run by one of the best president of basketball. Danny Ainge fleeces everybody all the time. He fleeced Cleveland for Kyrie because he basically handed them damaged goods and a pick that was going to be lower than it actually than they thought it was going to be, because Brooklyn ended up being better than the pick seemed like it would have been earlier, where it would have been a top 3 pick and ended up being number 8. Then he turns, and this is after fleecing New Jersey. Brooklyn, which is one of the greatest fleece in the history, other than the Herschel Walker trade in the NFL,
Dallas.
with Dallas literally built their entire dynasty around that one trade. That was the greatest fleece ever. It was like 5 or 6 years later.
Khalil Mack and the Raiders with the Chicago Bears.
Don't do that.
And that hurts.
That hurt, but not on this level, because dude,
it's hurting right now.
Because Boston still has picks coming. Like, it's the funny, like, Brooklyn finally has its own pick coming in this next draft, but they literally said, we're going to give you 2 old dudes. Like, Paul Pierce and KG were not Paul Pierce and KG no more.
Yeah.
And I want you to give us all of your picks. Like, ever. Like, your next 19 picks. Like,
wow.
I want all of them. And Danny Ainge is brilliant. Boston Celtics is, along with LA, the 2 winningest franchises in all of sports.
Yeah.
All of basketball, because you got the Yankees. But all of basketball. Why would you leave? Kyrie's the only dude who would look at Boston and go, I don't want to be here.
I'm going to be a Knick.
I'm going to be a Knick that's still ran by James Dolan. Like, I will tell you this straight up. The Knicks are the most overrated, just blind, just silly franchise in all of sports. They haven't won a title since 1970s, early 70s. And they act like they've been this preeminent franchise all these years. They're like, oh, we're going to sign people. Who have y'all signed? Melo's stupid behind, instead of waiting till free agency so he could actually go to an actual team, had y'all gut y'all team so he could go to go to the Knicks and make more money for himself, and then his team ended up stinking. You get Amari Stoudemire, whose kneecaps had been gone for 2 years, and then he disappeared. That's literally the only 2 dudes who really like signed with y'all that were quote unquote stars. Everybody likes to go to the Garden, drop 50 on y'all, and then leave. Steph Curry's done it. MJ's done it. LeBron's done it. Kobe's done it. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, I love New York. I love to come to your city.
I love playing here.
I love to drop 50 on your scrub tail team, and I like to go back to my team that actually wins games. The Knicks are terrible, and they will be until James Dolan is no longer the owner. This whole notion that I want to go play with the Knicks. For one, if Kyrie and Jimmy Butler came to the Knicks, they still wouldn't be better than Philly. They still wouldn't be better than the Boston team that's left over. Like,
yeah, that team is still nasty.
This whole notion that these second-tier stars out here talking trash, like, oh, man, we're going to team up. It only matters when dudes like Steph Curry and KD say we're teaming up. Or LeBron and D-Wade in their prime say we're teaming up. That's when it matters for the whole league. Jimmy Butler and Kyrie Irving teaming up doesn't mean nothing. It means nothing. You're not going to be a superstar. You're not going to be in the final stage. Like, you're not going to be. You're not going to be.
Spicy talk. I like it.
I don't know. One thing I learned about the NBA is players that aren't top tier, they won't be top tier until they show you they are. Like, Like there's been players that would be
Kinda
like, okay,
Victor
this
Oladipo.
player's whack
People-
until a season that he just steps
Yeah.
up and you be like, okay,
No, and I completely agree.
I changed my mind.
But those two players have both been in positions to be dope. It's not like a Victor Oladipo situation where he just blows up, or when Tracy McGrady went from Toronto to Orlando and averaged 13 more points. It's not a case of James Harden going from sixth man to an MVP candidate. These are guys we've actually seen be great. We've actually seen them.
For Jimmy Butler's case, he didn't walk into the league that way.
No,
he,
of course,
he popped up like Victor
No,
Oladipo.
and he's worked overtime. I give Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler all the credit in the world.
Kyrie,
but his ceiling, Jimmy Butler is known as a great two-way dude, right?
Yeah.
As somebody who plays both D and offense. The other guys in his category are the Klay Thompsons of the world and the Kawhi Leonards of the world. Jimmy Butler would be if Jimmy Butler is my second best player, I could win a title. If he's my second best player.
But if he's your first player,
if he's my first best player, he's not winning a title. The problem with the NBA since expansion is that you've had dudes who are the franchise player of their team or the superstar of their team who then think they're a superstar, period. There's only a few actual superstars. Superstars are dudes who come to your team and go, this is mine's now. This is mine.
Okay,
now.
so wait a minute.
This is
Kyrie,
gentrification.
he's
This
not
is
considered that.
Kyrie's an amazing offensive talent. If he's your best offensive player, you can probably win a chip. But if he's your best player overall, you're not winning a
If
chip.
he's your number one option, because it's been proven, like since he's been drafted, Cleveland didn't go anywhere until LeBron came back.
I'll tell you who Kyrie Irving is, and I've been saying this for years. And I think Kyrie's a dude on offense.
Best handles I've ever seen.
He's unstoppable offensively. That dude is amazing. But I'll tell you who he is the upgrade of.
I've seen him play defense
when it comes to his mentality and the fact that he doesn't make his teammates better. He's Stephon Marbury. He's Stephon Marbury.
In his prime?
I'm talking about prime.
Because Stephon Marbury in his prime was kind of magic.
No,
but
cold
listen
dude,
though.
but as
But
far as
listen to
like the
Stephon, though.
mentality though,
With Stephon,
that's why I say ouch.
With Stephon, every team he got traded from got better when he left.
Yeah.
Every single team. The Boston Celtics last year, Hayward gets one of the most gruesome injuries I've ever seen. I'm so glad he's healthy. I'm happy for him. I hope he has a good season. It's gone after in the first 5 minutes of the first game. Kyrie ends up getting hurt later on in the season. The Celtics still made the conference finals and pulled it to 7. Now, do they beat Cleveland if Kyrie's healthy? Absolutely. I completely agree with that. But Kyrie is not that transformational talent in which the other guys around him won't still play well if he's not there. It's not like when LeBron's not playing and then everybody else falls a freaking part. Like, Kyrie's not that instrumental to other dudes. Now, will he get you 25 on his own? Absolutely. Is he going to help somebody else get 25? No. And that's the same way Stephon was. It's the reason why Stephon's in Minnesota with KG when they should have turned into Stockton and Malone 2.0, but his selfishness leads to him getting traded all over the place. He got traded for Jason Kidd to the New Jersey Nets. They stunk when he wasn't there, and then when J Kidd got there, they went to the finals twice immediately. Like, he didn't have that energy that makes everybody around them better. Kyrie's the same way. Amazing offensive talent. But I'm not building my team around Kyrie.
And that what makes Boston scary because now he's expendable.
Yeah.
So they could trade him for more draft picks.
If I'm Boston, I run this entire season straight through with the exact roster I have right now. Because you haven't seen this roster together yet. You run it straight through. If Kyrie decides that he wants to move on, let him go. Sign Terry Rozier. Let Jason Tatum become your first offensive option because that kid is a problem. And he went to Duke, and I'm saying that. And I'm a Tar Heel forever. Like,
that did it for me.
Jason Tatum is that dude. Jaylen Brown is that dude. Like, they got a squad with or without Kyrie. It's just that Kyrie's one of them dudes who, if you put him on the final stage, we've already seen what that cat can do. That's the only reason I want to keep him around.
He'll finish for you.
Because he does stuff to Steph Curry that Steph Curry does to Chris Paul. We know how much they embarrass each
pretty
other.
good defense on Steph too, though. I've seen like details of it. Like
Kyrie.
Tell me somebody that other than
Kyrie doesn't play.
I don't know who anybody else that played pretty good defense that I watched against Steph other tthan him.
Steph struggles against bigger guards. If you put somebody little on him, he's just gonna walk up to you and say, "By the way, 35-footer."
Right.
Cause me and my boy Phil from my boy from Hampton University, we always laugh because we call. You guys remember the year of the 73 wins? When
73 and 9.
The 73 and 9 year. when Steph pulled when the Warriors and the Thunder had that amazing overtime game when Steph had like 10 threes or something, and his last one was the game winner from like 35 feet.
Yeah, Kevin Love in front of him or something?
No, against OKC.
This when Kevin Durant was still like trying to be the man.
No, this is when KD was still on the Thunder.
Yeah, I'm saying trying to be the man of
so
Steph's
Steph's coming up. They didn't call timeout. There's like 4 seconds left, and he pulls up from 35 feet. Andre Roberson is waiting on him, like he's about to play defense, but because Steph's in range as soon as he crosses half court, he's like, well, I'm gonna pull up from here. Me and my boy Phil call that the most ignorant shot we have ever seen in our entire life. That is the most. What? How? And the thing is that when he pulled up, we were like, that's a good shot for him. Like, Steph Curry's pulling up from 35 with 4 seconds left.
Nothing to say.
Dude,
like most coaches would be like, what the fuck was that?
No,
good shot, though.
Steve Kerr be losing his mind.
You saw him.
The funny part about it is when he took the shot, there was like 4 seconds left. It took so long for the ball to get to the rim because he was so far away that it was like 0.4 left on the clock when it dropped. I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, dude. Like, his range is silly. Like, you try to create, you can't even create him on a game.
Can't replicate that shit.
You can't replicate him on a video game. Like, this kid is out of control.
They allow you to pull up like that on 2K.
They had to. They had to change it because kids would have been like, hey, this isn't like real life. I just saw this last night. I just saw this last night. Like, he just did this last night.
2K, what the fuck, man?
Like, Steph Curry is the LeBron of three-pointers. Like you can't replicate it. Like,
dude, he's going to murder all the three-point records.
He's number... I think he's
gonna murder that shit.
With me and my boy.
If his ankles hold up,
if his
ankles hold up,
if he hits his normal average of threes per year, like 250 or something like that, I think he's actually gonna. With me and my boy actually did the math. He's either gonna be number 3 or number 4 all time by the end of this season.
Fuck.
And he isn't even in his 10th year yet, bruh. I was actually at the 09
And
draft
the beautiful thing about that is,
when Harden and all them got in.
The beautiful thing about that is it's not physically taxing to come down and just
absolutely
hit a 35-footer.
Because you want to know what's funny, dude? Is we haven't even hit the part of Steph Curry's career when he turns into Steve Kerr.
Right.
We haven't
the specialist.
We haven't even had
Ray Allen.
him coming off the bench and he's just a gunner for hire.
Yeah.
He's still handling the ball. He's still doing the stuff he's doing. We haven't even hit his later stage where all he does is sit in the corner and shoot threes. We haven't even hit that yet. And he's just hit 30. He just hit 30. There's going to be a time in the next couple of years where, he starts to, lose some of his speed and his athleticism, and he's going to be the greatest version of Steve Kerr ever. Like, Steph Curry hasn't even hit the stage. Like, because remember, shooting is the one skill that ages the best. So he could go until his year 40 just doing what he does.
Yeah.
Him and Klay Thompson are going to be 45 years old in the NBA.
Yep.
Just sitting in the corner going, hey, man, just give me the ball real quick. I'm going to shoot this three. And with positionless basketball and the way the offenses are now, that's the best way to go.
Woo.
These dudes here, bruh.
Man. So
I don't know how long y'all show is.
No. We talk for a good bit. We talk for a good bit.
I thought it was gonna be an hour. I was like, we went past that a long time.
Okay. So, but what can we look forward to you from the future? Can we look forward to another novel, movies, maybe like indie or Hollywood or some more online pieces?
Right now, my major focus is, of course, promoting Vinnie, promoting the book.
And when is it dropping?
It's technically out. Like,
technically out.
The quote unquote the pre-order started September 11th.
Yes.
But I started getting so many in that I just started ordering the book.
All right, so they can get it.
Because as a self-published author, the pre-orders funded me being able to purchase the books in order to give them out.
Oh, gotcha.
So the way self-publishing works is if you were to go on Amazon and buy my book, right? Mm-hmm. It's $20, right? If you were to go on Amazon and pay that $20, I get $7.97 of that. I don't even get half because it's on Amazon. But me being the author, I can buy my own book from myself for $4.09. So I buy it myself, and then I sell it to you. What's my profit now? $15.91. So that's why I've been pushing everybody to the website, because if you go to the website and order it from me there, then I have the book on me and I send it to you, or I deliver it. Mm-hmm. So people are, I really want to support you. If you want to support me and the actual book, you got to get it from the site.
And what's the site, sir?
If you buy it from Amazon, you're supporting Amazon. The website is rprestonclark.com. RPRESTONCLARK.com. You just go on there, go to the store, the website. I mean, the book is there. A hoodie's coming out. I got a hoodie that was made by my boy Nigel Burton with Just Be Dope. I'm only working with black small businesses. So he has his own clothing line called Just Be Dope. I'm actually wearing one of his hoodies right now. Y'all can't see me, but I look good. And so
they'll hear it.
So yeah, so he made my hoodie. And then my boy Jaquez, you know Jaquez Lindsay.
Yes.
My boy Jaquez has his own clothing line, and so he's doing my T-shirt, and I'm actually wearing that T-shirt for the first time at the Hip Hop 5K we're having in San Diego on the 20th. So I'll be wearing my hoodie. Be wearing my T-shirt then, and then I start writing, or at least starting to work on my second book in January. That's at least my goal. The second book. My book now is called Vinnie a Love Letter. The reason why it's called Vinnie a Love Letter is that it's a love letter to masculinity. I'm gonna have a love letter series. It's gonna be 4 straight books, and each one is going to be a love letter to a particular concept. And my next one's gonna be a love letter to trauma, and that's gonna be written from a woman's perspective. And so it's gonna be the most difficult thing I've ever written in my entire life, mainly because I'm not a woman. Yeah. But in order to be authentic, in order to be genuine, and in order to be truthful in telling that story, I'm going to have an army of beta readers and people to interview and people to talk to make sure that this story comes off as true as possible. Because I don't want to disrespect any of the journeys of women through telling this story. I'm not taking I don't want to come off as I'm taking advantage of their story. It's based off a poem I already wrote. And I'm just fleshing it out. I'm learning that that's the best way for me to write now, is to take stuff I've already done and then just flesh it out further. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be very therapeutic to write, and empathetic on my side, to be able to write about a woman's story and a woman's pain and a woman's struggle, and to be able to view society through her eyes. Like, her voice has already started to come to me in the same way that Vinnie did, and I'm going to be listening to a whole lot of I'm starting to see the space I'm going to need to be in order to write that piece. I'm really looking forward to it. I think one of the other love letters I'm considering, I don't know when my last 2 are going to be yet, but I'm considering writing from an older black man's perspective and making it a love letter to history. And talking from a 55 to 60-year-old black man who's seen and done and heard everything, and kind of him and his energy into today's society, with the difference between the 70s and 60s and 2018, that element of it. And I don't know what the 4th one's going to be, but I want a love letter series. I want to drop a book every year for the next 4 years. Like, that's my goal. And so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I would love it if I could just go to an island for 6 months and just come back with a whole bunch of books. But the way life is set up, that's not what's going to happen. But I'm really excited. On November 11th, we're looking at doing a book signing at the Dojo Cafe.
Shout out to Dojo Cafe.
Yeah, Dojo Cafe. Y'all know that real well. We haven't come out with details or anything like that yet, and the date even might change, because I know that's Veterans Day. But looking to do something with them. Looking at USD, UCSD, basically just hitting up a lot of the black resource centers and a lot of the black student unions, and seeing if I can come to their campuses. I'm potentially working with the African American Achievement Summit that was held last year. I did one of the workshops there. They're considering potentially giving some books to some of the kids. There was 700 kids there last year. Wow. So it's really just building the movement. I'm gonna be at the Baypack Gala on the 20th as well. So I'll be at the Hip Hop 5K, and then that night I'll be at the gala. So it's just really just networking, people hearing about the story, people hearing about the book, and hearing about what we're trying to do with the funds. Like, it isn't just about me. It's about getting money for that scholarship. Yeah. Because my goal is, if we can get to the 5K range for the scholarship, I'll come up with a scholarship this year. If we don't hit 5K, then I will continue to raise money over the next year and then come out with the scholarship. Because I don't want to come out with it really little and then people are expecting it the next year and we don't have anything.
Don't do what the Migos did a long time ago.
Yeah. So
show up to a high school with $1,000 check, but it was like real big.
Yeah. So so it's staying with Vinnie right now. Screenwriting is I still have a script that's kind of circulating up there, but the industry is so fickle, and the industry is so, like, if you don't if signatures aren't signed and money hasn't been transferred to hands,
Yeah.
then everybody can like what you're doing. Everybody can like your script. Everybody can think it's great. But until people start putting money down, then
Capital.
then it really doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So I kind of have fallen back a little bit on the screenwriting tip. I'm kind of recognizing that I have more control when it comes to writing books. I have more control over writing prose, and honestly, I mean, a good percentage of books, movies right now are based off of books. So why not? I mean,
if you get a deal from a motion picture, hit you up like, hey, we want to make this into a movie.
Like, I mean, The Hate You Give is doing
John
amazing
Grissom
work
did
right
it.
now.
Dean Koontz did it.
Stephen King, everybody. So like, that might be the best route to go.
You know that man can't sleep with the light off.
Who? Stephen King.
Stephen King.
You want to know what's funny? I told somebody, I said, look at the power of writing, because without writing, everything that Stephen King has written is still in his head. That man's a serial killer that would have been in prison already. Like, dead up. Could you imagine? Imagine you're walking around and you're Stephen King. You got It in your head. You got Cujo in your head. You got Carrie in your head. And you have nowhere. Yeah, you got nowhere. Pet Cemetery. Like, he has nowhere to put this down. He's a psycho, and you see him. He looks like he's killed somebody at least twice. Stephen King
Misery too. Don't forget about Misery.
Like, Stephen King looks like he died 10 years ago, and he's just still walking around.
Was it the Needful Things or something like that?
Yeah, like that dude, the Tommy Knockers, the fire starter, like that dude's imagination is crazy. But
I think that's why he leaves the light on though. I think it was more of like,
I'm pretty sure
I fucking hate my imagination.
He's been scared of Carrie since the beginning, because Carrie was his first book. Like, Carrie was his first joint. So imagine, like, going to sleep and, like, Carrie keeps showing up in your mind all the time. Like, I wouldn't be able to
not just that. Like, I feel like with an imagination, you see things. Like, if you turn the lights off before you go to sleep, the jacket will look like a fucking person standing there looking at you or something.
Yeah, something like Hereditary, you know.
And I feel like that plays off your imagination.
Because everything's a story to you.
Yeah.
Everything is a character to you. Everything around you, like, this dude's sitting at a stove cooking dinner and he sees fire and comes up with fire starter. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's what he looks at. He sees a whole bunch of blood be poured on somebody. He's like, oh, I'm gonna write Carrie. Like, kind of like he sees a crazed fan staring at another writer, and he goes, that's Misery. You know what I'm saying? Like, he sees stuff. He sees a dead cat.
Don't break my ankles.
He sees a dead cat on the side of the road and goes, I wonder if I could make that cat come back to life.
Yeah.
Pet Cemetery. You know what I'm saying? Like, he sees a crazy, deranged dog one day.
Yeah.
Cujo. Like, this dude's, like you said, his imagination is so crazy, but that's the beauty of writing. That's the beauty of creating. That's the beauty of, like, when I talk to kids, I'm like, you guys like watching TV? Like, yeah, somebody had to write that. You guys like watching movies? Somebody had to write that.
I'm not sure, but, like, I don't think he did this, but for some reason I want to say this. Would he, like, put himself in situations to help get those words?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like go stay in like a haunted house, like per se, like quote unquote, or something.
Well, sometimes they say
that's the research portion.
Yeah.
Like, the ideas already come to you, but in order to make it realistic, you spend time. It's just like with
method acting.
Yeah,
you know
that's what I was about to say.
Who was it? Was it Halle Berry or it was? I think it was Halle Berry because she played a drug addict in
Monsters Ball.
No. Even
Losing Isaiah?
No.
Jungle Fever.
Jungle Fever.
Yeah,
I mean, goddamn, she played.
So she played. So she actually did research by living like kind of that life for a little while, just so she could kind of feel it and understand it. And so the research, like once you come up with the idea, then you have to follow it up with, okay, how does it feel to actually go through this? It's the reason why they tell writers, write what you know. Like, I could write Vinnie because I've been a 14-year-old black boy with an issue with his father. Now, is this autobiographical? No. But is there elements of my spirit in the literature? Absolutely. Because I wrote from a passionate place. When my friend brought me the screenplay that I wrote for her, the story was something that was near and dear to her. But I needed to add something that made it emotionally attached to me, so I didn't write emotionally detached. There's nothing worse than writing something that you're emotionally detached from, because there's nothing. There's no passion to it. Like, and you can feel it on the word. It's almost like each word is just forced. Like, oh, I have to have a verb right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to have a word right. Like, it's not pure. It's not genuine. Like, every word in Vinnie is genuine. Like, if you knew me at that time, you know who I'm mad at when I wrote a particular section. Yeah. You know, there's subliminals all throughout this joint. Trust me. There's subliminals everywhere. And if you know me, you know who I'm talking about when I hit particular parts of the book. But it's still spoken through Vinnie's lens, even if I'm in it, because I'm channeling this kid. But this kid happens to be a 14-year-old black male. I've been a 14-year-old black male. So some of his story is my story. So even if it is his story, my story is going to be in it because he's me, because he's you, because he's you. And that's why you're going to be able to find something in there. If you're not a 14-year-old black boy, you might know a 14-year-old black boy. You might have a brother. You might have you might have an uncle. You might have a father. You might have a friend from school. Somebody is going to look like Vinnie to you somewhere, and that's where the connection is going to come from. This is an emotional book. Period. If you don't have, either you're going to be angry, either you're going to laugh, either you're going to cry, either you're going to be frustrated. You're going to go through a smorgasbord of emotions while reading this, and that's on purpose. I want you to tackle those emotions as you're reading, and then when you get to the end, go, okay, now what do I do with this? What do I do with this energy? How do I reflect on this piece, on this work? Because literature that leaves you immediately after you're done isn't good literature. Literature should stay with you. Books should stay with you, and writers should stay with you, and that's what we tried to accomplish with this novel.
Man, that's powerful. Looking forward to reading it from cover to cover. Shed my thug tears in private.
Hey,
in the candlelit room in the dark.
I don't know if I'm doing that.
Playing some Sade in the background.
hey, man, that woman still look good. She like 55. Yo, when they showed that picture of Angela Bassett at 60,
man, that's that vegan life,
bruh. No, that's that black woman life, bruh. Black. no, dead up. If you want to play a hilarious game, go to a Baptist church and play guess her age. You'll be like, yo, she's 31. She's 77. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What do you say? Jada Pinkett's mom looks better than Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, she got abs.
Yo,
that people can envy.
dude.
I gotta do some sit-ups right now.
I'll tell you straight up, the 4 greatest creations in all of life: black women, basketball, lemonade, and cheesecake. Those are the 4 greatest.
Lemonade and cheesecake.
Those are 4 greatest creations of
Lemonade
all
and
time.
cheesecake.
Lemonade and cheesecake.
Eddie
Like-
Murphy's
like-
ex-wife.
Like Nicole Murphy.
Yeah.
You know, Shannon Sharp. He was shooting his shot. Even
She
if he
looked
was
better.
married.
Well,
Bruh.
I feel like she looked better than her daughter. So I was like,
Man, black women do all day, every day.
Y'all beautiful black queens.
Yes, like just keep doing what y'all doing. Keep helping us. Keep leaning on us. Keep making us better, because y'all are everything. Everything. I got nieces. I got sisters. I got my mom. I got my aunts. I got my friends. I got exes. I got everything. Like, black women, y'all are bomb. Keep doing what you do, and we're gonna try our best to do better for you.
Hey, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, so, so I'm gonna go ahead with the shout outs and the parting words. It means you want to kick it off, brother.
shout outs to Monica, my beautiful black girlfriend. That's her alias because we used that name Monica from Love and Basketball.
I was watching that earlier.
Yeah.
It was okay. So now Lathan's played Monica in the 10 movies that have followed.
Can you name it?
I
Brown
can't.
Sugar, Best Man.
Yeah, she's played the same person, bruh. It's like, yo, somebody call Monica. Monica, call Sanaa.
Right.
We want to say she's the same person.
Straight up.
It's like, does she live in a shared universe? Is it like
Stupid.
she's Monica forever.
She got a
What's
movie
funny
on
is like,
Netflix.
what's funny
Happily Ever After.
is Omar Epps, Gabrielle Union, and Sanaa were all in their mid-20s when they played the high school students on Love and Basketball. Like, they were all extra old. Like, Gabby, Stacey Dash,
I think they were
even though we
29.
don't fame her no more.
I think they were 29.
Yeah, they were extra old. You got to remember that Stacey Dash was like in her early 30s when Clueless was a TV show.
Yeah.
And then you got to remember, Gabby was living her truth. I mean, she was talking about she wanted to lick the sweat off the butt crack. Lo and behold,
Lo and behold,
she's licking ass.
Maybe she improvised that.
My man Ronald
Wait,
Preston
time out.
was improvised.
Off of black basketball players. It's the same dude. Like, Omar Epps just grew up to be D Wade.
God
It's
damn.
the same person. Everybody from Love and Basketball is living Love and Basketball life.
I'm just waiting on the day for Omar Epps to play as Mike Tomlin in the bio.
Bruh.
That'd be dope.
That's the.
I'm just waiting for that to happen.
Literally looks. Makeup. Why do I need makeup?
Right.
I
What?
literally am his face.
Just
I
give me a
literally
hat.
am his face.
Just give me a hat and some headphones. I'm good.
Mike Tomlin. If Mike Tomlin ever needed to use the restroom in the middle of a game, Omar Epps could be on the sideline for the Steelers and nobody would notice. Nobody would notice. He's like, hey, coach, run a post. What? Play 5. Like, hey, what?
A scene.
And you remember? And you gotta remember, Omar Epps has played 27 athletes, so this dude is always an athlete in a movie. So
I remember him in The Program. That's one of my favorite movies.
The Program.
Yeah, The Program. You ever watched that movie?
Yeah.
He played. It was him, Halle Berry, motherfucking
Was that straight
James
to Netflix?
Caan.
Was that straight to Netflix?
Nah, that was
Straight
hella
to
90s movie. You
Netflix.
said.
The Program?
Look it up. Google it.
Wait,
The
hold on.
Program.
Wait, hold on. But you said 90s Holly was in it?
Holly was in it as
no,
his tutor.
That's all you need. That's all you need to tell me. Holly, 90s
Holly
is the
was everything
baddest,
to me since Boomerang.
bruh.
Yeah.
Since Strictly Business.
Oh, to get way back.
Bruh, her short haircut is the reason why I like the short hair now.
Yeah.
You give me a woman with a short
yeah.
haircut, I will make her breakfast for no reason.
Yeah.
4 o'clock in the afternoon. Why do you have eggs, bacon, and ham? Because you have a short haircut. That's the reason.
Right.
With the bob.
With a, woo, bruh. Halle Berry, I'll drink her bathwater. Like, goddamn. Like that. Halle Berry.
With that taper in the back of the neck, too, girl.
Yo, bruh, Halle
You
Berry.
stupid.
I don't care, bruh. She's on a whole nother plateau for me, dude. Like, and everybody hated like Monsters Ball. I was like, this is a beautiful scene.
Oof.
This is a beautiful movie.
I would just
Man.
replace what's his face with myself.
Hell,
so-
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
And-
Yo, Billy Bob went to the White Boy Hall of Fame after that movie. Like,
Yeah, he did.
he up there with Jax from Sons of Anarchy, Adam Levine from Maroon 5, Justin Timberlake pre-titty, and and who else is on my swag? Oh, and John B. Those are my swagged out white
John B.
John B.
boys. That's my swagged out white boys list right
Shout outs to John B. I
there.
gotta.
That Cool Relax album is still cracked to this day.
Yeah.
The one that had Are You Still Down and They Don't Know and all that
Mhm.
wanted.
Don't
Yeah.
listen to what people say.
Bruh, that dude was a problem.
Man, shoot, my shout out for you, of course. Come to the show, being a guest of honor, sharing your book, sharing your experiences and your ups and downs, and creating this soon to be masterpiece that's going to be spread throughout the whole world, not just San Diego.
Appreciate it.
You know, we out here, we want to support each other. We do dope shit in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else I'm gonna invite. Who knows? But you know, I just want to keep the ball going. You know, because you know, I feel like, you know, I think San Diego need to be. Oh, I hate that shit put on, but San Diego's dope. It don't need to be put on. It will be on. It is on the map. We just gotta show it some more.
Elevate.
I mean, we just
Elevate.
had the International World Poetry Slam here in San Diego that finished yesterday.
But you know what? People
and
don't.
and
people don't-
Natasha Hooper,
Yeah.
who is I mean, she's not from San
Yeah.
Diego, but she's a San Diego poet right now.
Mhm.
Finished number 2. So like in the
Yeah.
last, so Rudy Francisco, of course, has already won the International World Poetry
Rudy
Slam.
Francisco's that guy.
Now Natasha's had been ranked number 2. Amani Cezanne has won the International Women's Poetry Slam.
Mm-hmm.
Our Poetry Slam team, the last before this year, the 2 years previous, won the whole entire chip and got a second place.
Yeah.
Like, the poetry game in San Diego is a national power. Like, it's a problem.
The
dude.
poetry game is good. The R&B is good.
Dude,
The production's good.
Preston Harris' voice just changed my life. That
Oh,
dude,
Preston.
that boy can sing.
Preston's dope.
Shout out to Preston.
Yo,
man.
he was
That's
on
the homie.
my EP, my spoken word EP. Like, he could literally go, A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
Right.
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Say maybe y'all go
do
on
all
tour
those
together.
words. TV doing?
U-I-S,
Go-
T-U-V, W-X, Y-N-Z. And I'd be like, Preston, just, if I had
He be
panties,
doing
I'd throw
all
them
that.
at
He be
you.
like,
Like,
"Gee."
yo,
He
if
do
I
all
had
that,
panties, I'd
yo.
throw them at him. Like,
See,
here, bruh, you deserve these.
just go on tour.
look over at my girl. Take your panties off.
Hey,
Take
yo,
them off right now.
I need those panties. I
I'm
need
gonna-
those. I'd slingshot him at that dude. Like, that dude.
The Prestons. There you
Yo,
have it.
we could
Go
literally
on
go on
tour.
tour. Like, I would have him sing my background while I read chapters of the book.
Boom.
I'll let you boy. It's going down.
I don't have a bomb, so I had to do it myself.
Nah, there's a lot of talent in the city that and I'm loving like the small businesses that are coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just this generation is just becoming more supportive of one another. And you're really starting to see that with the projects that are coming out.
I think as San Diegans, we got tired of being looked over. We got tired of being like, you know, when an artist, a big time touring artist, is past their prime in their career, they come to San Diego
Yeah.
as the last resort. Now we're getting big headliners. We got On the Run tour coming over here.
Yeah.
We got you know.
I saw
the
Chance
Wildin'
when he
Out.
came. I saw
Yeah.
Gambino when he came. Janelle Monáe's concert at San Diego State was bomb. Like, that woman is
I
a
love her,
phenomenal
man.
talent.
I love her.
Phenomenal talent.
That woman could wear black and white all the time
All day.
and still be
looking
fresh.
like a porcelain doll. Like, she's gorgeous.
And
like,
dance
for
better than
silly
a lot of people.
dude, and her energy level was just crazy. Like, it's just like, I love, and then Gambino came out in a white white V-neck and some khaki shorts and just acted a fool. I was like, I love this dude. And then Chance, that was a gospel rap concert. And what was beautiful about Chance's concert, it looked like Morris High School.
A word?
In regards to, it was Asians, it was
Minus the
Mexicans,
Tiger Muffins?
There was, yo, I just had one. I'm at Morris now. I had one. What's funny is I took a picture of it. I put it on my page, and I got like 100-something likes because everybody from Morris was commenting. What I didn't say on there, because I didn't want to make people sad, and I'll say it on here, and if somebody hears it here, hey, they hear it here. Dude, they make it with turkey sausages now. So it wasn't the same. It wasn't as greasy and like.
Oh, wow.
That's what made it amazing. Was it literally every time you ate it, you were risking your life.
yeah, pretty much.
Now it's
I remember
all
those days
like
in high
healthy
school.
and stuff. I'm like, it was still good, but like it wasn't on that level of just like you wanted to pick it up and throw it at somebody's face because it was so delicious.
Well, my
Right.
lifestyle changed ever since. Though,
Right, that's why you kind of like,
I'm not missing much.
Hey, bruh, more meat for me. Like I'm a carnivore. Like, 'cause I know people who ate healthy.
That's what I say.
I know people who ate healthy and died at 35, and I know people who smoked and ate bacon and died at 77. It's just the way your body's made up. I'm eating everything
passed
that
away at
DNA.
85, and he ate rabbit. He ate motherfucking possum. If
your granddad was Paul Bunyan. Like,
Hey, he from the old school.
If he
you know.
dies, it could be.
He got the Mississippi roots. You know, he was
I ain't
in
mad at
Illinois
it.
when he was doing that. So
you gotta, whatever you eat, you gotta eat well. Like, I mean, because all these people coming around that are vegan and stuff, I'm like, that's cool. That just means more chicken's available for me.
Hey, I've been doing it for myself.
Just being real. Like, there's more chicken available for me.
Yo, and I support the vegan movement.
Hey,
It's
I'm
awesome.
And it's too
a
expensive.
carnivore at heart.
and it's
you
too
know.
expensive to eat
So-
healthy.
Nah, not really. It's sometimes nah.
So y'all got 99-cent 2 tacos that are vegan?
That are vegan, 99-cent
Yeah.
tacos, like mad processed food. I mean, you can get processed food anywhere. You can accidentally bump into some processed food that's vegan.
Just eat some tofu.
Until y'all show me somewhere I can go late at night while I'm drunk that's vegan.
See, that's the thing. They don't have that on the market.
Somebody needs to do that.
someone
that's the
needs to
next
go to
small
Marco.
business.
Marco,
That-
man, there you go.
That's the
or
next small business.
sports bar. A sports bar because
Yeah.
you nigga, I like watching football.
Yeah.
I like watching boxing matches too.
What, with vegans?
Huh?
With vegan
You
food?
stupid.
Yeah, why not?
So you can eat it like
See?
this? So you can eat it like this? That's that toxic masculinity
I was about to
coming
say.
out.
I was about to say.
That's that toxic masculinity coming out. Like, oh, I want to have my own place. Like,
Yeah.
I want to have vegan football. They should
Exactly.
have a vegan football league.
Vegan football.
Let's have a vegan football league. It'll be
The
50. It'll be 50.
footballs
It'll be
were
50
made.
yards. It'll be 50 yards. The footballs will be made out of like lambskin.
Right.
Oh no, it can't be lambskin, man.
Odell Beckham will be our star.
Odell Beckham.
No animals were
He be
harmed
down
when
for
making
he be
these
down for a
footballs.
vegan football league.
But that nigga be in L.A. more than New York. He only New York when it comes to football. After that, when the season's over,
I love
he be in L.A.
I love the
I like
league.
his energy though.
I haven't watched football the last 2 years. I've been boycotting. But I will say this: Jalen Ramsey and Odell Beckham make me so happy about life because there's nothing worse. I mean, when it comes to traditional masculinity, the fact that these two dudes are sassy as hell and they're locking people down is the funniest shit ever. Like Jalen Ramsey is sassy, like legit sassy, and he is the best corner in the entire league. And I find it just like in this day and age when we're trying to destroy what masculinity looks like, you can't get mad at dude.
Yeah.
He's the best he's the best corner in the entire league, and he is sassy as hell in his interviews. And I think it is the most priceless stuff ever. He's like, did I like him now? Sure did. Like, dude is amazing. I love him.
And he wants all the smoke, so I like the energy he keeps.
Yeah.
My second shout out, I'm gonna give a second shout out to Black Sam, who's Nipsey Hussle's brother. He bailed himself out of jail, fronted $100K on $1 million bond. I don't know what the fuck he did for the judge to hit him with $1 million bond, but I just was inspired at the fact that he had the resources to pull himself out of there because not many brothers, scratch that, most brothers can't even do that. And what he did was empowering, and it gave me that reminder like, yo, we need to be about our money because we don't want to be another Khalif Browder. We don't want to be any other black man who just get arrested and we don't have the resources to get ourselves out of jail. That is the worst, absolute worst
story
feeling
is the most
ever.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's
like if you haven't gone on Netflix and watched the Khalif Browder story, please do it. But make sure you got tissue nearby because that story there is
straight up. Man. I don't care how tough
that's
you
one
are.
of the saddest stories you'll ever hear in your life.
So as long as Black Sam didn't do anything like crazy, maybe he did something just to really piss off the judge to set the bail at $1 million. I'm like, all right, then fuck it, free Black Sam. Yeah. So I mean, shout out
maybe
the
judge looked at him like this: "You black and successful, $1 million bond."
Because that speaks to something else. Because I can't stand when people be having like, yo, free the homie. When
and like, what the homie did something bad,
like that meme of Michael Myers, free my homie.
Yeah, like no, because I'm like, because I'm sorry, somebody, if he did it.
He should go to jail.
He needs to go to jail.
Yeah.
But if it's free to homie because he's in there and he's innocent and he shouldn't have, or he shouldn't have had as long of assistance or whatever the case may be, I'm completely for those movements.
Yeah.
But when it's free Jeffrey Dahmer or free, you know what I'm saying? Like it's free
my
Michael
nigga Charles
Myers.
Manson.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Free the mass murderer of the century.
Yeah.
You need to sit down. Like you just need
no,
to take
you
the L
sit in jail. Nigga.
Yeah,
Like,
you need to sit. You need to.
especially if his answer to why he did it was because I wanted to, or they was just there.
I'm like, how about okay? You need to sit down in jail, and I'm gonna send you a copy of Vinnie, a Love Letter by Ronald Preston Clark, which is available now at www.rprestonclark.com.
I like the plug right there. And there's just like my last tidbit about that whole thing is just the fact that Black Sam did it in style. Black Sam got the private jet. You about to borrow on the private jet? Look, I'm fresh out. I'm going in the private jet. I'm going to Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm out. That's fly shit, man. So, Ronald, go ahead and close it out. Guest of honor.
My official shout outs just go out to just anyone who's bought the book already. You guys got to understand just how much it's meant to me to drive around San Diego dropping off books to people in their mailboxes, on their front steps, to them personally, being able to hug folks and just to see the excitement they have on their faces, the patience you guys have had. Some of y'all pre-ordered in late August and are just getting your book. Like the patience some of you guys have had with me and with this process and with self-publishing has been beautiful. Shout out to Ebony E.B. Better, who's my videographer, who's been killing it. Shout out to DeVale, who's my book manager, who's been giving me all the advice possible. Shout out to Rise San Diego for having my back all the time. Shout out to my friends who have just been writing with me. There's too many to name, but they're all in the back of the book. I got the book is 260 pages, but 261 pages, but I have 9 pages worth of acknowledgments in the back because I write people essays. Like I'm one of those people who like when I thank you, right. And I remember folks who were with me during my journey. And I'm blessed. I'm thankful. To everyone who has said they're going to buy the book, who said they've told somebody else about the book, who are already reading the book. I'm just continue to do so, but at the same time, make sure our young people are reading every single day. Read 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes before you go to sleep. That's your hour a day. Easy. That's one sitcom. Or watch a sitcom and during the commercials you're reading. Or while you're playing video games, during a little break you're reading. Our kids have to be reading. We have to be reading because learning is a lifelong journey. And continue to do that. I will do my best on my end to provide literature, both from other writers as well as myself. And I will try to keep you guys posted of everything. Thank you guys for having me here on this show. This was a lot of fun. I haven't been able to like just sit down and just shoot the shit with some people in a while. Which is really cool because I've just been real business-like lately. Like I got to go back to school. Got to get back to work tomorrow. I got some work to do tonight. But I'm just very thankful for you guys having me here. I'm loving what y'all doing here. Pleasure. The fact that y'all had 128 shows, that's real dope. I know how it feels to get to that number because we with Lyrical Exchange we have 50 shows a year and we're on year 6, so we're about to hit our 300 show. So that's a beautiful thing. So continue to do what y'all doing. I'll be back with the second book.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So
you can come on anytime. You can
tell you too. I might even just like hit y'all up and be like, "Yo, I'm bored, yo. Can I come over and just talk to y'all for a second? Cause this is fun. This is fun. So I'm very thankful. So
all right, man. Yeah, definitely, man. So if you enjoy listening to this podcast as much as we love making it, because we do what we love and love what we do, and if you're not being your motherfucking self, man, you know what I gotta say. The jig is up, and we out. Thank you for listening.